Leo checks his phone and reads news about the strange cultural trends in this modern world. Sitting alone in his dark bedroom, Leo reflects on his sudden and strange new life. He stares closely at the phone screen, trying to comprehend how different this realm is. Leo looks down at his out-of-shape body and feels disappointed by his weak physical form. He remembers his glorious past life, when he was a supreme martial emperor ruling the realm. Sharded memories flood his mind as he recalls the chaotic battle that ended his previous life. In this reversed universe, strong women do all the heavy lifting and protect society. Meanwhile, men are expected to stay home, cook meals, and focus on their looks. Leo contrasts his weak current self with the unstoppable power he possessed in his past life. He remembers his fatal duel against his powerful enemy Sarah, which destroyed them both. Swirling blue energy carried his soul across space and time into this strange parallel world. Leo channels his magical blue flame, focusing his soul energy within himself. He absorbs the power, storing it deep inside his forehead. Opening his eyes, Leo knows he must hide his true power for now. He turns his attention to the school uniform jacket hanging on the wall. He realizes he needs to play along and go to school like a normal kid. Leo reminds himself to stay patient until his old strength fully returns. He gets dressed in his uniform and reaches for the door handle. Stepping out of his bedroom, he enters the spacious hallway. As he walks, he recalls the painful memories of the boy's past life. The original boy lost his parents in a car crash, and his sick grandmother was hospitalized. Cruel female relatives took advantage of the situation and stole the family business. The weak former owner was helpless, but Leo resolves to reclaim what was stolen. Leo walks into the dining room where his greedy relatives are sitting around the table. Aunt Brenda glares at him with a cold and calculating look. His arrogant cousin Ethan smirks mockingly while eating his food. Aunt Nora holds a soup ladle and stares him down sternly. Leo suddenly recalls an old secret his family kept from him. He remembers a ridiculous contract arranged by his grandmother years ago. Before getting sick, his grandmother had arranged an engagement with Chloe. The young woman had thrown a huge fit over the forced marriage. As a supreme emperor, Leo refuses to let anyone force him to marry. Aunt Nora interrupts his thoughts to ask if he heard the news. Leo glances up, keeping his expression completely calm and serious. He braces himself, ready for whatever trick his aunt is planning next. Nora breaks into a sweat as she feels Leo's intimidating glare locked directly onto her. She is shocked by the powerful aura pushing down on her from across the dining table. The heavy tension fills the entire room, leaving everyone sitting in complete silence. The family members and servants watch nervously as the dynamic in the room shifts. A plate of hot food sits on the table, while everyone loses their appetite from fear. Leo sits back down calmly, completely ignoring their fear while eyeing his large dinner plate. He picks up a bite of meat with his chopsticks and eats it with total ease. Ethan tries to break the awkward silence by chatting cheerfully with Leo at the table. Leo decides he will play along and act like a normal person for a little while. He adjusts his bow tie, keeping his divine power carefully hidden from his greedy relatives. Ethan shrugs arrogantly and keeps babbling away, clueless about Leo's actual strength. Leo quietly chews his food, knowing he can easily put his annoying cousin in his place. An hour later, the car finally reaches the school grounds. Ethan continues talking casually, while Leo stays silent beside him. The driver turns around to announce that they have arrived at their destination. Ethan keeps chatting away without realizing how annoyed Leo actually is. Leo shoots Ethan a terrifying look, silently planning his revenge. Ethan suddenly feels a deadly chill run down his spine, leaving him shaken. Leo stands outside the school gates and takes in his new environment. He notices that male students here wear shorts that reveal their legs. Meanwhile, the female students walk past wearing full school uniforms. Leo is shocked to hear girls loudly gushing over another guy's legs. He realizes that in this reverse world, women freely check out and praise men. Leo facepalms as he tries to process the bizarre reality of this flipped world. He wonders if his dangerous ancient enemy has also crossed over into this world. Holding his briefcase, he continues walking down the hall toward his classroom. His footsteps sound softly against the floor as he navigates the school corridor. Leo pauses outside the second-year classroom door before stepping inside. Inside, a group of girls eagerly gossips about whether Leo confessed to Nora. Nora sits at her desk with her arms crossed, looking thoroughly annoyed by the rumors. Leo watches the commotion with a calm face, unaffected by their silly school drama. Sitting at his desk, Leo realizes training his weak body without magic won't be easy. Someone suddenly places a heavy hand onto Leo's shoulder while he sits at his desk. Brenda leans over his desk and playfully teases him about his embarrassing confession to Nora. Leo keeps his eyes closed and tries to ignore her noisy teasing. Brenda asks him why he keeps trying to date someone as popular as Nora. When Leo bluntly rejects her remarks, Brenda reacts with total shock. She keeps babbling loudly, trying to persuade him to listen to her plan instead. Leo calmly cuts her off and asks her to tell him what she actually wants. Brenda is stunned by his sharp, confident tone and serious personality shift. She rubs her cheek in embarrassment after getting called out so directly. Brenda proposes taking him along on a summer trip up to the famous mountain. She passionately describes how breathtaking the starry night sky looks from the peak. Leo quietly considers her mountain invitation as a potential opportunity to train his weak body. Sarah gets super excited in class when Ethan agrees to speak on the microphone. She invites Ethan to join her after school in the computer room to play games. Soon, the school bell rings to mark the end of the day. Ethan meets up with Sarah in the computer room as planned. They both sit down side by side and get ready to log in. Ethan types in his account login and password on the screen. He clicks his mouse to load into the online game world. A bright green light flashes as his character spawns into the game. The green portal beams down in an open arena surrounded by stone pillars. Ethan appears as a handsome silver-haired warrior checking his screen. Ethan looks at his computer monitor as his high-level game character loads in. In the game, Sarah tells Ethan she called an expert player to help them out. Sarah's top-ranked gamer friend, Brenda, excitedly runs up to meet Ethan in the game. Brenda immediately flirts with Ethan, complimenting his handsome voice over voice chat. Sarah watches in annoyance as Brenda keeps gushing over Ethan. Brenda suddenly dashes off toward the battle arena to fight alone. Sarah tells Ethan to stay hidden in the forest while as Ethan waits on a rock, a system message reveals Brenda was instantly defeated. Brenda quickly respawns at the portal gate and loudly announces her return. Without waiting, Brenda rushes straight back into combat to fight Gary again. Seconds later, another notification pops up showing Brenda was killed a second time. The skilled opponent realizes they underestimated the enemy team's strength. Brenda decides to step in and help take down the strong fighter. The game logs show Brenda and others have been defeated by the mysterious player. Brenda is shocked and assumes the rival player must be a top professional. Blank. True Brenda warns Ethan to be careful because the dangerous opponent is hunting him. Ethan remains calm, confident that no mere mortal can defeat him in a game. The enemy team tracks Ethan's location to Zone B. A new player, Jessica, commands her team to chase after Ethan immediately. Jessica is determined that Ethan will not be able to escape their trap. Ethan runs through the forest and notices someone is chasing him from behind. He abruptly stops running, sensing that the confrontation is about to begin. Ethan prepares his magical sword technique to defend against the incoming ambush. Jessica launches a swift, hidden projectile attack toward Ethan's position. The projectile misses its mark, whistling through the air near the trees. Ethan remains calm, his focus sharp as he watches for his opponent. The intense battle creates a flurry of light and shadow on the screen. Jessica mocks Ethan for his inability to hide his powerful, long-range presence. Jessica lunges through the air, closing the distance to strike Ethan directly. Ethan's fingers fly across his keyboard, executing a precise countermove. He clicks his mouse with intense speed to trigger a defensive ability. A mysterious blonde player observes the chaos unfold with a sharp gaze. Ethan dashes through the forest, focusing intently on his next move. He prepares himself, knowing he must give his absolute best effort. The challenge is difficult, but he remains fully committed to winning. Suddenly, Ethan unleashes a powerful, glowing blue energy blade. He fires the magical projectile directly toward his target with speed. The energy blast streaks across the open ground like a comet. The attack moves with incredible precision toward the unsuspecting opponent. Jessica, caught off guard, realizes the danger is closing in fast. She is shocked by the sudden, overwhelming power of his attack. The force of the impact sends Jessica tumbling backward through the air. She hits the ground hard, sliding across the dirt from the blast. Jessica lands defeated, with Ethan's blade pinning her down in place. The game screen flashes a final defeat message after Ethan's crushing victory. Jessica and her friend sit in silence while processing their total loss. Ethan grabs Jessica by the collar, demanding she keeps her promise. Jessica looks up at Ethan, clearly intimidated by his intensity. Jessica stares back at him, struggling to hide her frustration. She sits with her arms crossed, still reeling from the intense match. Meanwhile, Maya happily accepts a meeting request over the phone. Maya beams with excitement, completely thrilled about the upcoming meetup. Maya asks if Ethan is a guy, but he coldly rejects her. Ethan tells her to remember their promise as he starts to leave. He walks away from the desk, leaving the others behind. Ethan strides out of the room, focused on his next move. Ethan receives a message demanding he meet at the school gate immediately. He prepares for the day, feeling the weight of his current situation. Ethan arrives at the school in a taxi, ready to face the day. He steps out of the car, walking toward his destination with purpose. He carries his briefcase, focusing on the tasks that lie ahead today. He feels the limitations of his current human body as he rests. The next morning, Ethan arrives at school and is quickly confronted. A classmate mocks him, trying to start an argument about rumors. Ethan ignores the noise, continuing to walk forward without looking back once. He keeps his cool, believing there is no reason to explain himself. The classmate grows angry at Ethan's cold and arrogant behavior today. Maya greets Ethan at school, happy to finally see him arrive. A classmate looks nervous while speaking to someone off-panel. She mentions a student named Yutong and asks if people know her. Ethan listens carefully, processing the information about this mysterious girl. The students gossip about Yutong being a well-known girl at their school. The classmate excitedly tells Ethan about Yutong's reputation. She reassures Ethan that Yutong is not a threat to guys like him. Ethan remains stoic, staring intensely with his sharp blue eyes. The classmate suddenly looks shocked by Ethan's cold reaction. Ethan stays silent and unbothered, making the situation awkward. A student storms over to Ethan's desk, clearly very angry. She slams her hand down on his desk to grab his full attention. She confronts Ethan, loudly declaring that their marriage is a complete sham. A student leans in to confront Ethan about their complicated relationship drama. The girl accuses Ethan of lacking mercy and warns him to stop going too far. The classroom grows tense as the girl stands over Ethan and demands his attention. Ethan coldly tells her that they have no future together and she should leave. The girl snaps back, saying she only visits his home to see his brother. Classmates whisper about how strong Ethan is for handling the situation without crying. Blank. True. Suddenly, a new group of students enters the classroom and interrupts the scene. The class watches in surprise as a popular girl walks in with her friends. A confident blonde girl leads her group into the room, drawing everyone's eyes. Students whisper about the newcomer, noting how rich, powerful, and beautiful she is. The blonde girl approaches Ethan and demands he follow her outside. Ethan looks confused and asks why she wants to speak with him. She firmly insists that he come with her immediately. The class watches in shock as they leave the room together. She explains that in this world, women wear battle dresses as a normal tradition. She takes a purposeful step forward, ready to make her point clear. She grows frustrated and raises her voice at him. The tension builds as they continue their private conversation. She walks away, leaving him to think about what she said. She looks incredibly annoyed and loses her cool. She shouts, demanding to know if he even recognizes who she is. A friend jokes that it is no wonder he is not scared of her. The girl marches off, telling her friend to meet her at noon. Ethan returns to his friends, who are desperate to know what happened. His classmates crowd around him, eager for all the juicy gossip. Victoria tells Ethan that a girl wants to challenge him to a private match. Ethan finds the situation ridiculous and hides his face in his hand. Victoria insists on helping him by inviting more girls to join the event. She imagines a cozy scenario where she sits closely with Ethan on a park bench. However, Ethan is secretly annoyed and thinks she deserves to be put in her place. Ethan remains frustrated with Victoria and mutters his sharp criticism under his breath. Blank. True, a blue-haired girl arrives and announces that Yutong is waiting for him. The girl looks around the classroom, confused because she cannot find Victoria anywhere. Blank. True, Ethan walks away to meet Yutong, leaving the other students behind in the hall. Meanwhile, other students whisper and make fun of a large man standing in the cafeteria. Ethan grabs his food from the cafeteria worker, eager to finish his meal quickly. He walks across the school grounds, hoping to avoid any more unwanted attention. Ethan keeps his head down, focused only on getting away from the crowd. He thinks to himself that he finally found a moment of peace today. Blank. True, suddenly, a mysterious girl approaches Ethan with a confident and bold stride. She stares at him intensely, hinting that they will meet again very soon. She looks powerful and elegant, catching the eye of every student nearby. Blank. True, her gaze is piercing as she looks directly at Ethan with deep interest. She smiles softly, clearly having a special plan in mind for him. A strange, magical aura surrounds her, revealing she is not an ordinary student. The mysterious girl reflects on her dark past and the ocean of challenges she faced. She stares ahead, lost in deep thought about her complicated journey. She recalls her struggle to be recognized by her father in her old life. She finds this new world much more interesting than the one she left behind. She remembers being a girl who was constantly mistreated by those around her. She eventually used an evil mask to strike fear into those who wronged her. Back in the present, she walks through the school grounds with her peers. She notices a heavy-set man following her and decides to confront him. She turns around quickly to catch the person trailing her. She stands face to face with the man to demand why he is following her. The man looks surprised and slightly confused by her sudden approach. She stares at him intently, waiting for an explanation for his behavior. Leo calls her weird and walks away, leaving her blushing and totally embarrassed. She walks off angrily, swearing to regain her powers and leave this world soon. She suddenly stops walking as a new thought pops into her head. She convinces herself that Leo was only acting mean to hide his embarrassment. She turns around, determined to see where Leo is going next. Leo glances back nervously, wondering why she is still following him. She quietly trails behind Leo as he climbs up the staircase. She tilts her head, wondering what Leo plans to do upstairs. She suddenly worries that Leo might jump off the top of the building. She tries to brush it off, telling herself it is none of her business. She narrows her eyes, unable to stop worrying about what might happen. She quickly sprints up the stairs to make sure Leo stays safe. The mysterious girl realizes that the rumors about her powers are actually true. She reaches out her hand, trying to focus her energy and regain control. Her eyes widen as she feels a sudden, intense surge of power within her. She breaks into a cold sweat while struggling to handle the overwhelming force. Meanwhile, Leo is shivering in the cold, thinking about finding food downstairs. Suddenly, a tense confrontation breaks out between the two characters. Leo looks startled and demands to know what is going on here. The girl suddenly lunges at Leo, grabbing him and pinning him against the wall. Leo looks up in complete confusion, wondering why she is attacking him. A sharp, metallic object snaps in half during their frantic scuffle. The girl screams in pain or shock as energy crackles around her. Leo shouts at her again, desperately trying to understand her strange behavior. The mysterious girl yells at Leo, clearly frustrated and blaming him for their situation. Leo looks on, his expression serious as he processes her sudden outburst. The girl collapses on the rooftop, exhausted and struggling to handle her own power. She reaches out her hand, perhaps asking for help or trying to find balance. The girl looks up at Leo with wide eyes, looking vulnerable and confused. Suddenly, she gets angry again, her face turning bright red from pure annoyance. She attempts to strike out at Leo, but she is still too weak to fight. Leo notices a fresh scratch on his hand from their intense little scuffle. Blank. True, Leo stands with his arms crossed while a new girl confronts him about the mess. She blames Leo for the trouble, insisting that he is the one who must fix it. Leo looms over her with an intense look, making the girl panic and plead for mercy. A frustrated girl confronts Leo, telling him to let the other girl have her fun. Leo remains silent and unimpressed, keeping his composure despite the tense atmosphere. The girl accuses Leo of causing all the trouble and demands he take responsibility. She continues to vent her anger, clearly upset about the recent turn of events. She insists that Leo must address the situation, regardless of his own desires. Still annoyed, she gestures wildly while continuing to lecture Leo on his behavior. Exhausted by the argument, she slumps over and claims that the match is over. Blank. True, Leo stands up to leave, reminding her not to forget about Wuju Mountain. He turns his back on the dejected girl, walking away from the classroom. Leo steps outside, looking around as he contemplates his next move. He casually wonders about the girl he injured, assuming she will be perfectly fine. Two schoolgirls wait on a bench, unaware of the chaos nearby. A man worries about the victim he injured earlier today. He fears that if the victim dies, the police will arrest him. Desperate to avoid trouble, he rushes to find the injured person. He runs quickly through the school grounds to locate them. He finds the victim lying motionless on the school rooftop. The victim struggles, frustrated by the weakness of their mortal body. They grumble about how easily a simple human can be broken. The victim is too proud to ask anyone for help. They are shocked and annoyed that things turned out this way. They remember being invincible and regret their current helpless state. Suddenly, someone else arrives on the roof to confront them. Leo finds the young student struggling on the rooftop. He catches his breath, feeling stressed about the situation. Leo asks why she returned to the rooftop in this state. He kneels down, demanding to know what she wants from him. Leo is confused and worried by her stubborn behavior. He reminds her that she is a woman in need of aid. She looks up at him, caught off guard by his actions. Leo decides to make a phone call to get her some help. Leo stays calm and keeps talking to the distressed student on the roof. The student looks up at Leo, appearing exhausted and deeply troubled. Leo tells her to be patient while help arrives for her injuries. She continues to struggle with her emotions while lying on the ground. The student feels cold and hungry, reflecting on her difficult situation. She admits she is unsure what to say, but keeps her guard up. True, an ambulance finally arrives to take the injured student away. Medics load the student onto a stretcher while onlookers watch nearby. The student covers her face, feeling overwhelmed by the recent events. Leo leaves the scene in a taxi to head back home. Back home, an angry man confronts Leo about his meeting with Yutong. An angry man corners Leo at home, demanding to know about his meeting with Yutong. The man tries to grab Leo, but Leo easily catches his wrist in self-defense. The attacker is shocked, realizing Leo has become much stronger and more intimidating lately. The man continues to yell at Leo, refusing to back down from the confrontation. He threatens that his mother will kick Leo out of the house for his behavior. The man loses his temper and prepares to strike Leo with a physical blow. Leo stands his ground, firmly declaring that this is his house and he is in charge. Leo easily blocks the man's clumsy attempt to punch him in the back. The man tries to slap Leo, desperate to regain some control over the situation. Leo effortlessly catches the man's hand midair, stopping the attack instantly. Leo mocks the man for being weak, while the man begs him to let go. A mysterious new figure arrives, watching the conflict unfold from the shadows. The confrontation continues as the angry man demands that Leo apologize for his behavior. Leo refuses to back down and firmly tells the man to go away. The man is shocked and complains that Leo's rejection actually hurts his feelings. Leo turns his back on the man, clearly uninterested in continuing this pointless argument. The man becomes even more furious, shouting and ready to attack Leo again. He swings his arm back, preparing to strike Leo with a powerful blow. The man lunges forward, determined to make Leo pay for his perceived disrespect. Leo reacts instantly and catches the man's wrist with an iron grip. Leo stares him down, coldly stating that he will only say his piece once. Leo easily deflects the man's arm, completely overpowering his attempt at a physical assault. The man is stunned and screams, calling Leo a spoiled brat in frustration. The man points his finger aggressively, while another person watches the scene unfold nervously. The woman stares intensely at Leo, clearly frustrated with his attitude. She continues to voice her annoyance while the others watch in total shock. Leo stands his ground, looking directly at the woman with a steady gaze. The woman notices that Leo seems like a completely different person now. She calls out to his uncle and cousin, pointing out the strange situation. Leo listens as the woman continues her lecture, completely unfazed by her words. He turns around and walks away, showing he has no interest in staying. Leo firmly tells her that he did nothing wrong and refuses to apologize. The woman threatens to cut off his vacation money if he stays stubborn. Leo walks toward the door, ignoring the family members watching him leave. He slams the door shut behind him, leaving the room in stunned silence. Leo thinks about the woman's empty threat regarding his money as he departs. Leo starts searching through his closet to find anything valuable he can sell. He feels stressed and overwhelmed by his current financial situation. He opens his drawers hoping to find some spare cash, but they are empty. Leo realizes he is completely broke and needs to find a way to survive. He looks around his room for clothes or shoes that might have some resale value. Leo decides to list his items online to see if anyone is interested in buying them. Suddenly, he gets a notification that someone is interested in his listing. Leo is surprised that a buyer appeared so quickly after he posted the items. He loses his balance and falls backward onto the floor from the shock. Lying on the ground, Leo thinks about how difficult it is to deal with these women. He finds their obsessive behavior and strange demands completely exhausting to handle. Leo wonders why these women are so interested in buying his old clothing. Leo looks at himself in the mirror, feeling frustrated with his current physical appearance. He decides he must regain his former strength to survive in this difficult world. Leo prepares to test his physical condition after his recent life changes. He attempts to use a special muscle technique he remembers from his past life. Leo collapses on the bed, realizing his current body is too weak to handle it. Suddenly, his phone rings, interrupting his moment of exhaustion. Leo picks up the phone and answers the unexpected call. A woman named Emily tells Leo she is planning to go mountain climbing tomorrow. Emily waits for Leo to respond to her plans. She begins to ask him what he thinks about her trip. True, the next day arrives, and Leo prepares for whatever challenges wait for him. Leo eats breakfast while a mysterious figure walks into the room. Leo jokes with his companion, wondering if Yinhui asked them out too. His companion looks upset and stays silent after his teasing remark. Leo tries to reach out, but the tension in the room remains high. Other girls chatter about Leo, doubting his ability to climb the mountain. A girl calls out to Leo, offering to help carry his heavy bag. She approaches Leo, who seems confused and asks what is wrong. Leo reaches out to steady her as they prepare for the trip. The group sits on the bus, with everyone looking shocked and upset. One girl looks particularly frustrated as she complains about the situation. She reveals that Leo will also be joining them on the trip. The news of Leo joining causes another outburst of surprise and drama. Leo sits on the bus, but he notices something strange happening outside the window. A fast motorcycle suddenly speeds up and pulls alongside their moving bus. Leo watches the mysterious rider closely as they continue to keep pace with them. He wonders if the biker is following them or just happens to be passing by. The rider remains silent, keeping their helmet on while staying right next to Leo. Suddenly, the motorcycle engine roars louder as the rider prepares to make a move. The bike accelerates quickly, closing the distance between the two vehicles in an instant. The mysterious biker swerves sharply, forcing the bus driver to react to the danger. Leo shouts at the rider, demanding to know why they are trying to stop them. The motorcycle tires screech against the road as the rider forces the bus to halt. Inside the bus, everyone is thrown off balance by the sudden and violent stop. The mysterious rider finally blocks the path, staring down the bus and its passengers. The mysterious biker confronts the bus driver, demanding they watch where they are going. She reaches up to remove her helmet, revealing her identity to the passengers. The blonde woman stands confidently, finally showing her face to everyone on the bus. Leo and the other passengers are shocked, recognizing the woman standing before them. The woman stares back at the bus passengers with a cold and focused expression. Blank. True, a passenger is completely stunned by the sudden appearance of the mysterious biker. She wonders aloud if the biker has been tracking Leo this whole time. The passenger stands up, pointing and questioning the visitor in complete disbelief. She confronts the blonde woman, asking her how she is doing today. The blonde woman replies, stating exactly why she has arrived at the bus. She tells the passenger that she almost missed seeing them pass by on the road. The mysterious blonde biker laughs as she corners Leo on the bus. She teases him about his past relationship while the other passengers watch in shock. The scene flashes to the biker's dramatic arrival on her motorcycle. Leo remains calm, keeping his arms crossed as he faces the intruder. The bus falls silent as the biker stands directly in front of Leo. She leans in aggressively, asking if her presence is causing him any trouble. She demands to know if he is willing to play along with her game. The biker looms over Leo, challenging him to react to her pressure. Leo notices something glowing on her, his eyes widening in sudden realization. He senses a mysterious aura coming from the glowing amulet around her neck. She comments that the energy is weak but clearly crafted by a professional. Leo analyzes the technique, noting it is too rough to be from a true demon master. The mysterious blonde biker stands confidently, ready to challenge Leo. She stares down Leo, challenging his resolve and his strength. Leo remains calm, focused on his goal to find powerful cultivators. A friendly group of onlookers cheers him on, excited for the journey. The blonde biker taunts Leo about climbing the dangerous Wuzhu mountain. She stands tall, her presence imposing as she continues her mockery. The group encourages Leo to go and witness the mountain's miracle. The biker laughs, mocking the idea of a chubby guy climbing mountains. She turns to leave, clearly dismissive of Leo's true potential. One of her friends looks on, reacting to the sudden tension nearby. The biker calls a friend named Ben to take her motorcycle home. Leo stands firm, ignoring the insults as he prepares for action. The blonde biker continues to provoke Leo, mocking his skills and challenging his presence. She stares him down with a cold expression, holding her phone as if waiting for a reaction. Leo remains completely unfazed by her insults, his calm eyes showing no signs of irritation. The tension builds as she continues to stand her ground, looking down on him with clear disdain. She remains unimpressed, her body language radiating confidence as she dismisses his potential entirely. She adjusts her hair, still mocking him while keeping her focus on her device. A man nearby looks confused and frustrated, holding his phone while trying to make sense of the situation. The blonde biker loses her patience, snapping at the man and telling him to get lost. On a bus, a group of students discusses the situation, wondering why everyone is so obsessed with Leo. One student expresses deep annoyance, clearly tired of hearing about Leo's recent actions. Suddenly, the scene shifts to a high-speed chase through the woods with intense movement. A mysterious masked fighter leaps through the air, moving with incredible speed under the bright sky. The masked fighter leaps through the air to launch a swift, sudden attack. She channels energy into her hand, warning her opponent that the fight ends here. The masked woman is shocked that her opponent can strike while moving so fast. A bright flash of energy erupts as the challenger lands her powerful blow. The blonde biker looks stunned, wondering if she actually lost the match. Leo bluntly confirms her defeat, leaving no room for her to argue. Frustrated and confused, the blonde biker demands to know what he wants from her. Leo strikes a dramatic pose, fully confident in his victory. The scene becomes a blur of light and abstract shapes during the chaos. Confused by the strange turn of events, she shouts out in total disbelief. Leo sarcastically suggests she needs to evolve her brain to win next time. Defeated and annoyed, she asks him again what his goal is for winning. Leo demands that the blonde woman transfer $10,000 to his account. She offers him money monthly and help with his ex-girlfriend if he becomes her coach. Leo coldly rejects her offer, stating it is not necessary. Leo shows her a screen, and the woman reacts with clear frustration and anger. Blank. True blank. True. Leo dismissively brushes off her persistence as she struggles to contain her annoyance. The woman stares at her phones, clearly feeling pushed to her limit by Leo. Leo tosses a phone back to her, warning her not to answer if he calls. The blonde woman remains silent, looking deeply troubled by Leo's strange and arrogant behavior. Leo thinks to himself that no one else is as arrogant as this woman. The woman stands up to leave, clearly frustrated by their tense interaction on the bus. The blonde woman is furious at Leo and demands he move to the front. She calls him a bully, clearly frustrated by his calm and cold attitude. The two stare each other down in tense silence on the bus. They stand face to face, ready for a confrontation, but Leo remains unimpressed. Leo keeps his cool, his eyes showing he is not bothered by her anger. The woman looks annoyed, muttering about Yutong while glaring at him. Another boy interrupts, telling the woman that Leo needs to speak with her. Leo tells her that the marriage contract is just a silly joke between their grandparents. The boy smirks, clearly enjoying the drama unfolding between the two. The boy coughs, trying to hide his amusement at the awkward situation. Leo bluntly tells the woman to shut up when she tries to provoke him again. The woman complains about the bus ride, wishing she had sat somewhere else. A large bus arrives, bringing a group of people to the base of a mountain. They look up at the mountain and worry about how tall and steep it is. A man asks Zishuan for some sunscreen before they begin the long hike. A girl smiles at a young man, offering to help him climb the mountain. The group gives a thumbs up, happy to have a plan to get closer. A woman in a blue outfit stands at the bottom of the stairs, looking up. She pauses, ready to start the climb while everyone else watches. A sudden gust of wind blows through the trees as the group heads out. The others are already complaining that their legs hurt and they cannot climb. An angry man watches them, feeling strong and annoyed by their weakness. He clenches his fists, dreaming of the day he regains his true power. Meanwhile, a girl takes the young man's hand and leads him forward. Alice watches the young man struggle to climb the steep mountain stairs. The young man gasps for air, his body clearly exhausted from the climb. He continues to push forward, one heavy step at a time. He feels frustrated that he has the least physical strength in the group. He complains that the others make the difficult climb look way too easy. The young man collapses on the stairs, unable to keep moving upward. Alice walks back to him and kindly offers her help to continue. He refuses her help, determined to finish the climb on his own. He tries to find the inner strength to keep his body moving. Blank. True, his face is flushed with effort as he forces himself to stand. Alice worries that his intense self-pressure is only causing him more pain. Alice tells the group they will head up the stairs first. The group notices Leo struggling but comments on his surprising strength. The exhausted men behind him decide they have had enough and turn back. Leo refuses to quit, insisting he could reach the top in a minute. The others ignore him, planning to wait until after dinner to continue. A young woman suddenly shouts out to Leo, surprised to see him. She praises Leo for making it this far all on his own. Alice steps in, suggesting everyone is too tired and should go eat. The group remains concerned about Leo's intense physical state. They question if he is trying to be brave or just risking his life. They warn him that he might collapse if he keeps pushing himself. Alice finally decides to leave him alone to finish his climb. Leo finally reaches the peak of the mountain after his long, exhausting climb. He stands at the top, feeling proud of his hard-earned accomplishment. He takes a moment to breathe and survey the area around him. A woman watches him from nearby and expresses her surprise at his success. She sips her drink while judging Leo for his decision to climb alone. She calls him a fool for struggling through the entire climb by himself. Leo ignores her comments and focuses on his own personal progress. He stands tall, ready to begin the next stage of his journey. Leo smiles, happy that he can finally start his training once again. He reaches out his hand, channeling his energy with a deep breath. A mysterious blue glow begins to surround Leo as he concentrates deeply. Leo looks confident as he prepares to show off his newfound power. Leo takes a quick break to eat a sandwich while resting. He finishes his meal and prepares for his next challenge. Leo decides it is time to start cleaning his marrow. He sits in a meditative pose as a blue aura surrounds him. Night falls over the building as Leo finishes his training. Inside, two women discuss keeping Leo from being fooled. Leo answers a phone call and keeps the conversation brief. He checks his phone to see who is calling him. Leo hangs up and walks through the building hallway. A polite man in a suit waits at the front desk. The man asks Leo how he can help him today. Leo approaches the counter to speak with the clerk. Leo asks the front desk clerk about the price for a single room. The clerk tells him the package costs 8,000 yen for 2 months. Leo decides to book the room for that 2-month period. The staff member cheerfully confirms his request. Later, Leo finishes his outdoor training session as the sun sets. He meditates in the quiet, peaceful evening air to recover his strength. Meanwhile, Rachel talks to someone on the phone about picking them up. She insists that it is her duty to collect her table companion. Leo checks his phone and feels frustrated by a sudden message. He receives news that someone named Yutong is facing serious trouble. Leo realizes he must act quickly to help out his friend. He gets ready for the day, looking sharp and prepared for action. Leo stands in his room, dressed and ready for his next mission. A young woman with blonde hair appears, looking surprised by the sudden encounter. The scene shifts to the exterior of a large, quiet building nearby. Someone reaches out to knock firmly on a wooden door. The hand waits, signaling that someone is about to enter a room. The door creaks open, revealing the space behind it. Leo turns around to find a red-haired girl standing in his doorway. She stares at him with wide, startled eyes, clearly caught off guard. Leo looks back at her with a calm, focused expression. The girl quickly apologizes, embarrassed that she knocked on the wrong room. The girl is stunned by Leo's appearance and cannot stop staring at him. She is completely flustered and finds it hard to look away from him. She imagines a romantic future with him, feeling shy and overwhelmed. Her heart races as she thinks about how handsome he truly is. She tries to compose herself while standing in front of Leo. She quickly apologizes, hoping to hide her embarrassing, lovesick reaction. She worries that Leo thinks she is being inappropriate or creepy. Leo looks at her, confused by her sudden change in behavior. She nervously asks Leo if he happens to know someone named Leo. Leo listens quietly, waiting for her to explain why she is there. She pauses, feeling awkward about the entire situation. She laughs nervously, realizing they share the same name as someone she knows. Leo criticizes the girl for her ineffective weight loss efforts. He explains that her body needs a complete physical reconstruction. She agrees that she is ready to proceed with his plan. Leo picks up his bag and prepares to leave with her. She is shocked to realize he really is the famous Leo. She remembers once telling him that overweight people have hidden potential. She never actually believed her own words would come true. She eagerly offers to help the young master as they head outside. She sprints toward the car to assist him with his things. She shouts out to Fong as she rushes forward in a blur. She makes a dramatic stop right in front of the vehicle. She uses her speed to help them reach the car instantly. Sarah offers to open the car door for Leo, acting very polite and eager. Sarah teases Leo about his physical strength, guessing he trained on mountains. Blank. True Leo stays quiet while Sarah continues to chatter away happily beside him. Sarah gets annoyed when Leo refuses to engage in conversation with her. Leo tells Sarah to keep quiet, and she reacts with a funny, exaggerated expression. Sarah feels embarrassed and starts overthinking her past interactions with Leo. She wonders if they could have been a perfect couple if she had been nicer. Sarah appears on the news, admitting she deeply regrets how she treated him before. Despite her past mistakes, Sarah thinks she still has a chance to win him over. She convinces herself that she can still change his mind and gain his affection. Sarah blushes, feeling hopeful about her future relationship with Leo. Leo keeps his distance while Sarah tries to keep the conversation going in the car. Leo tells Sarah to just take him home, clearly wanting to end their time together. Sarah agrees to drive Leo home, though she is secretly plotting her next move. The car pulls up to the destination, signaling the end of their tense ride. Leo gets out of the car and tells Sarah he will see her in a few days. Sarah watches him leave, wondering if he is really planning to visit someone named Zara. Sarah smiles, thinking she will use Leo to get closer to her own goals soon. Leo keeps a serious and focused look on his face as he walks away. Leo walks inside, ready to deal with the people waiting for him inside. He is immediately confronted by several women who look surprised to see him arrive. They stare at him, stunned and confused by his unexpected presence in their space. The tension in the room spikes as everyone wonders what Leo is doing here. Leo rides in the car, wondering if he will see a certain person. The car pulls up to a stop right in front of the school. Leo steps out of the vehicle, looking calm and collected as usual. He walks toward the school gate, carrying his briefcase in his hand. A student nearby notices Leo and is immediately stunned by his presence. Another student stares at him in complete awe, unable to hide her excitement. The girls around the gate whisper loudly about Leo's handsome looks and long legs. Leo feels annoyed by the strange and intense reactions from the crowd. He thinks to himself that he needs to save himself from this situation. Leo senses that something is definitely not right as he walks inside. He enters the classroom, where the students are waiting in total silence. The classroom remains completely still as Leo walks to his seat. Leo walks into the classroom, causing everyone to whisper about the mysterious new student. Leo sits at his desk, keeping his eyes closed while ignoring the surrounding chatter. He sits with his arms crossed, deep in thought, while the class stares at him. Leo wonders why he is getting so much unwanted attention from his classmates today. He notices a strange, glowing green aura flickering in the palm of his hand. A student confronts him, accusing him of lying about his identity to trick them. A blonde girl aggressively grabs a red-haired student by her jacket, demanding the truth. The red-haired student cries out in fear, insisting that the fat guy is gone. The blonde girl threatens her, saying she will keep pushing until she confesses everything. Terrified, the red-haired student finally agrees to tell her what she wants to know. The confrontation causes a sudden commotion as the students react to the tense situation. The class watches in shock as the truth about Leo's transformation begins to surface. A blonde student glares intensely, clearly agitated by Leo's sudden and mysterious presence. Leo remains calm and keeps his eyes closed, ignoring the heated atmosphere around him. He keeps a stoic expression while his classmates continue to whisper and stare in shock. The classroom erupts into chaos as students argue over the strange new situation. The blonde student continues to shout, desperately trying to convince others that she is right. Leo keeps his cool, refusing to let the loud outbursts affect his composed demeanor. Leo finally speaks up, calmly offering the student a chance to train with him later. His sharp, formal attire contrasts with the messy conflict happening inside the classroom. The blonde student is left completely baffled, wondering who Leo actually is. She continues to struggle, looking visibly distressed as she tries to process the situation. Another student looks on in panic as the argument reaches a boiling point. Leo stands alongside a larger student, looking prepared to move on from the drama. A classmate looms over Leo, demanding to know who he thinks he is looking down on. The student is visibly shaken and sweating as she struggles to find the right words. The blonde student walks away, leaving her peers stunned and confused by the interaction. The student tries to call out, begging to explain the situation as the blonde walks off. The student is left in a daze, shocked by the rumors regarding Leo's past relationships. She collapses to her knees, overwhelmed by the sudden turn of events in the classroom. Two students giggle nearby, wondering how the secret about Leo got out so quickly. The classmates whisper amongst themselves, questioning if Leo had plastic surgery to look better. The teacher enters the room, calmly ordering everyone to return to their seats for class. The teacher smiles, casually asking how everyone's vacation went as she begins the lesson. Suddenly, the teacher pauses, looking confused as if she noticed something strange in the room. She scans the classroom, curious about which class a specific student belongs to. The teacher approaches, noticing that something is different about Leo's seat today. She leans in, seemingly surprised by his appearance and his current position. She tells him he looks like he has suffered a lot since the holidays. She then casually asks him if he would like to switch his current seat. The whole classroom watches as the teacher waits for Leo to make a decision. Meanwhile, two classmates start arguing loudly, denying any wrongdoing regarding the seating arrangement. One girl mocks the other, claiming she is just using extra padding to look taller. Leo stands his ground, refusing to let these people force him to move seats. In his mind, he prepares for battle, ready to defend his spot against his rivals. The teacher grows impatient and demands that the student just change seats already. Two other classmates grab the struggling student and drag her away to force the change. The students whisper amongst themselves, shocked by the strange and dramatic turn of events. Students gossip and wonder if Leo had plastic surgery to look so different. The teacher announces that everyone must swap seats with their neighbors. She specifically orders Leo to go and sit next to his classmate, Ethan. Some girls panic because they do not want the teacher to take Leo away. Leo sits down, hoping that this new spot will finally keep people away. A classmate approaches Leo, clearly upset and emotional about the change. She rests her head on the desk and begins to cry loudly. Blank. True Leo looks annoyed and exhausted by all the constant attention he is receiving. He stands up, trying to maintain his composure despite the classroom chaos. Other students swarm him, using excuses like weight loss advice to ask him out. A girl watches them and thinks about how fake everyone is acting now. Classmates continue to argue over their feelings for Leo, causing a loud scene. The girls surround Leo, blocking his path and acting very pushy. Leo looks annoyed and asks them to please get out of his way. Leo pushes past the crowd, trying to escape their unwanted attention. One student gets angry, calling the situation disgusting and acting dramatically. The students continue their childish bickering while Leo tries to walk away. One girl insists she is choosing Leo, while another student storms off in anger. Leo arrives at the cafeteria, hoping for a quiet place to eat. More students approach Leo, but he tells them he is busy and not interested. Leo finds himself unable to escape the constant attention from his classmates. The students whisper about Leo's appearance, making him feel even more uncomfortable. Leo tries to ignore the gossip, but the persistent students refuse to leave him alone. Students are obsessed with Leo's appearance and his long legs. Leo keeps a serious face, trying to ignore the constant attention. Two students gossip about Leo, questioning if he is really who they think he is. One girl acts like she does not care about his looks, claiming she isn't shallow. The students start arguing loudly about their conflicting feelings toward Leo. Another student calls her friend a hypocrite for her sudden change in attitude. The girl admits she would love to be with him regardless of his traits. She happily declares that she has officially decided to pursue Leo. Leo continues walking through the hallway, trying to find some peace. Leo moves past the noisy crowd, focused on getting away from the chaos. A girl approaches Leo and asks him what is going on with everyone. She complains about the sudden pressure to marry someone while she is still studying. Leo and a girl stand back to back, feeling the tension between them rise. The girl looks visibly upset as they remain in an awkward, silent standoff. She confronts Leo, asking him why he is acting so strange and distant. The girl tries to explain herself, but she is clearly agitated by the situation. Leo walks away without looking back, leaving the girl confused by his cold behavior. She watches him go, feeling frustrated that he completely misunderstood her intentions. Leo keeps walking, hoping that he is not being followed to a secluded area. He stays alert while walking, making sure he isn't being watched by anyone nearby. Leo spots a mysterious girl walking in the distance and keeps his eyes on her. He stares intensely, trying to figure out if she is a threat to him. Leo realizes that this specific person has been tailing him for quite some time. Leo quickly walks away, while the mysterious girl watches him with a serious expression. Leo keeps walking while Sarah follows him, clearly upset and trying to get his attention. Sarah shouts at Leo, demanding that he stop and listen to what she has to say. They lock eyes for a tense moment, neither one willing to back down from the argument. The confrontation turns physical as they both move quickly, creating a chaotic and fast-paced scene. Sarah is frustrated and asks Leo why he isn't acting like a proper gentleman. The intense movement continues as they rush through the hallway, deeply caught up in their dispute. Sarah worries that if she loses this argument, she will bring shame upon all women. Both of them are desperate, with Sarah shouting that she simply cannot afford to lose. Leo turns to Sarah while they run, asking her why she is chasing him so aggressively. Leo points out that Sarah is running just as hard as he is, calling out her hypocrisy. Sarah snaps back, questioning why Leo even cares about her running after him. The argument escalates further as Sarah loses her temper, demanding that Leo stop talking to her that way. Leo is feeling very frustrated and worked up as he keeps arguing with Sarah. Leo refuses to accept his situation, insisting he is a powerful emperor. Sarah yells back at him, clearly fed up with his arrogant attitude and behavior. Leo looks at her with intense annoyance as the tension between them keeps rising. Leo forcefully slams his hand against the wall, trying to assert his dominance. The two of them continue to crowd each other in the narrow hallway space. Sarah tries to push past him, but he blocks her path with his arm. Leo snaps back at her, claiming this is his territory and she must leave. They remain locked in their heated standoff, neither one willing to back down. Leo grabs Sarah's clothing, and there is a sudden sound of fabric tearing. The sound of the rip echoes, leaving them both stunned in the hallway. Sarah screams in shock and embarrassment at the sudden turn of events. Leo feels a strange sensation as he stares at Sarah. He suddenly rushes toward her, moving with lightning speed. Sarah stands there, looking completely stunned by his sudden approach. Leo moves his hand, making contact with Sarah in the heat of the moment. The sudden movement causes part of Sarah's clothing to tear away. The situation becomes incredibly awkward as Sarah realizes what just happened. Leo stands confused, trying to process the mess he has caused. Sarah looks terrified and embarrassed while holding her torn outfit together. Leo pauses, thinking that his reaction was somehow justified by the situation. Sarah clenches her fist, her face turning bright red with pure rage. She confronts Leo, pointing her finger and shouting at him in anger. Sarah is absolutely fuming, her head practically steaming with intense fury. Sarah is absolutely furious, threatening Leo with violence for his accidental mistake. Leo stays calm, looking at his phone while Sarah continues to yell at him. Sarah is panicked, realizing how bad this situation looks for her reputation. She imagines everyone at school pointing fingers at her if the news gets out. The intense pressure of the moment makes Sarah feel like everything is closing in. She is still reeling from the shock of the physical contact during their fight. Sarah feels hopeless, believing everyone will side with Leo regardless of the truth. Despite her fear, Sarah stands her ground and declares she will win this confrontation. Sarah tries to fix her hair while Leo watches her, still holding his phone. Leo sits quietly on the floor, seemingly unbothered by Sarah's intense emotional outburst. Leo checks his phone again, keeping a cool and focused expression on his face. Leo stares intently, his sharp gaze suggesting he has a plan in motion. Leo checks his phone and sees a disturbing news report about mysterious animal deaths. The news shows images of birds found dead and dried up overnight. Leo realizes the strange state of the animal's corpse is very concerning. He recalls legends of a powerful demonic sword that consumes anything it touches. Leo thinks about how this incident might be linked to that cursed weapon. He remembers a final battle where the sword was destroyed to protect its master. Leo realizes he must investigate the site of these strange occurrences himself. Determined to find the truth, Leo prepares to leave and investigate the scene. True Leo walks through his school as students gossip about his handsome appearance. He ignores the chatter and walks past his classmates with his bag in hand. A classmate calls out to him, seemingly excited by his presence at school. Leo refuses to let the girl follow him, trying to keep his distance. The girl insists on sticking by his side, claiming all other girls are dangerous. Leo reminds her of the dark rumors about students jumping off the school roof. She gestures wildly, trying to get Leo to listen to her concerns. Leo firmly tells her that he is not going and to stay away. The girl looks embarrassed and tries to hide her face after being rejected. She stares at him, clearly surprised by his cold and distant attitude. Leo walks away, telling her he is in a hurry and cannot talk now. She calls out, warning him that someone has been looking for him all vacation. Leo remains focused on his own path, promising to talk to her later. The girl looks frustrated and shouts for him to wait a moment. Leo pauses, briefly acknowledging her help from the past with a shy look. A mysterious girl with red hair watches Leo with a sly, knowing smirk. A yellow taxi speeds down the road, heading toward the city's edge. Leo rides in the taxi, wondering if a powerful demon is nearby. A fierce blonde warrior appears, glowing with intense and crackling golden energy. Two students sit on a bench, looking serious as they discuss the situation. The taxi drops Leo off at a quiet, lonely spot near the woods. Leo steps out of the car, determined to handle this threat alone. He stands tall, preparing himself for the danger that lies ahead. A sudden shockwave ripples through the air, signaling a powerful magical presence. Leo stands at the center of the energy pulse, feeling the atmosphere change. Purple demonic energy erupts in the distance, catching Leo's sharp attention. Leo senses a cold, dark force and realizes a dangerous demon is watching him. A motorcycle speeds toward the scene, leaving a trail of dust in its wake. The rider pulls up quickly, bringing the bike to a sudden, sharp halt. Leo watches as the mysterious biker comes to a stop in front of him. The blonde warrior removes her helmet, telling Leo she spotted him from far away. She confronts Leo, pointing her finger while still sitting on her motorcycle. Leo considers her words, wondering if the dark energy he felt is related to her. Leo explains that he stepped out of his car to investigate the situation personally. The blonde warrior looks visibly annoyed, her expression growing tense and frustrated. Leo calmly advises her to call for help if she finds herself in danger. She dismisses his concern, claiming she does not remember the details he mentioned. The tension rises as the two prepare to engage in a physical struggle. They lock arms, testing each other's strength in a sudden, intense confrontation. The blonde biker prepares for battle by adjusting her gear and getting into a fighting stance. Leo watches her closely as she readies herself, keeping his guard up during the tense standoff. Leo senses something unusual about her behavior and wonders why she is acting so strangely. She pauses, surprised that Leo has followed her, and asks if he came back for her. Her expression shifts as she questions his motives for sticking around during this dangerous encounter. She holds her helmet firmly, signaling that she is ready to continue their intense confrontation. They stand close together, locked in a silent test of strength and willpower against each other. Leo stares back at her through her visor, his face calm despite the rising dark energy. The biker looks uneasy, clearly feeling the pressure of the moment and their sudden proximity. She remains focused on the mysterious threat while Leo keeps his eyes fixed on her movements. The atmosphere grows heavy as both fighters prepare to unleash their power in the coming fight. Leo leans against his motorcycle, looking cool and collected. He playfully taps the top of his helmet with his finger. Leo asks if this helmet is meant to be protective gear. The blonde biker watches him with a smirk and a wink. She suddenly gets annoyed, her face twisting into a frustrated expression. She insults Leo, calling him a fat ass and a perfect bait. Leo stands his ground while she continues to yell at him. Leo tells her that she is being a total headache. He notices that she is heading straight toward the demonic energy. Determined to investigate, Leo quickly runs toward the mysterious area. The biker stands alone, claiming that this is all there is. She prepares to strike, stomping her foot as the fight begins. The blonde biker arrives at the scene, marked off by yellow caution tape. She moves with confidence, ready to confront whatever is waiting for her. An elderly woman holding a broom spots the intruder and looks confused. The biker demands to know who the old woman is looking for. Suddenly, the biker pulls out a handgun to intimidate the woman. She mocks the woman for standing her ground instead of running away. The woman acts surprised, claiming that carrying a gun is illegal. The biker sneers, calling the woman a damn cultivator who ignores the law. The woman looks nervous, claiming she is just a simple chicken farmer. Without warning, the woman whips out a concealed blade to attack. The biker quickly fires her gun to defend herself against the strike. A bright flash of light fills the air as the two clash violently. The elderly woman bleeds after being struck, her calm farmer persona completely shattering under pressure. She drops her hidden weapon as the intense combat reaches a breaking point. The blonde biker stands ready, wielding a glowing, powerful sword that hums with energy. She towers over the wounded woman, looking down with a cold and focused expression. The biker prepares to strike with her brilliant, flaming blade held firmly in her hand. With a swift motion, she swings the sword through the air, creating a bright arc. The biker threatens the woman, mocking her for using such a crude fighting method. She taunts the woman, suggesting she is better suited for refining people than mere chickens. The woman's expression darkens as she begins to embrace her true, sinister nature. She smiles chillingly, finally accepting the biker's dark challenge to fight back. Her hands transform into sharp, blood-stained claws as she prepares for a deadly counterattack. With a manic grin, she lunges forward, determined to refine the biker and claim victory. The blonde biker charges forward with her glowing golden sword ready to strike. She lunges ahead with incredible speed, shattering the ground beneath her feet. The biker closes the distance instantly to attack the transformed monster. Her sword strikes the creature's back, but the beast easily blocks the heavy blow. A mysterious man watches through the fence, worried about what he sees. He shouts in concern, realizing that the woman is in grave danger. The monster grabs the glowing blade with its dark, clawed hand, shocking the biker. The creature's immense power causes the sword to crack under its grip. The biker realizes this monster is just like the evil cultivators she once fought. The terrifying beast lets out a roar as it prepares to unleash its full strength. The biker stands her ground, bracing herself for the monster's next aggressive move. The beast swings its massive, sharp claw, forcing the biker to dodge the attack. The blonde biker watches in shock as the monster attacks with blinding speed. She narrowly dodges the creature's sharp, glowing strike. The attack creates a powerful shockwave that rattles her entire body. Her hands tremble as she realizes the danger she is in. The monster unleashes a massive, destructive blast that rips through the ground. Knowing she is outmatched, the biker decides she has no other choice. She gathers her remaining strength to prepare for a risky counterattack. The demon beast prepares another lethal strike with its claw. The biker stands her ground, ready to face the creature head-on. She channels her energy into a final, desperate move to survive. With a burst of golden light, she launches a powerful strike forward. Her attack lands directly on the monster, creating a brilliant explosion of energy. The blonde biker feels confident and declares that the job is finally finished. Suddenly, the monstrous demon beast lunges forward with a powerful, glowing attack. The creature strikes with incredible speed, catching the fighter completely by surprise. Its claws tear through the air, forcing the woman to desperately defend herself. She is thrown backward with massive force, slamming hard into a nearby brick wall. Injured and struggling, she coughs up blood as the pain surges through her body. She stares ahead with intense focus, refusing to let the monster win this fight. The demon beast prepares another deadly move, its dark wings spreading out wide. It gathers dark energy, preparing to launch a final blow against its opponent. Just as the beast attacks, a young man jumps in to intercept the strike. He manages to save her from the impact, keeping her safe from further harm. The blonde biker stands tall again, holding a glowing weapon as she prepares to counterattack. The story continues with two girls sitting together on a bench. One of the girls looks up and says something rude. The blonde biker stands up, clearly hurt and angry from the insult. The demon beast demands that she show him more respect. A young man suddenly rushes in to confront the beast directly. The young man stands his ground and dismisses the creature's weapon. He prepares to use his own powers against the monster. His eyes glow intensely as he focuses his energy. The demon beast looks on with the expression of pure shock. The creature realizes it is facing a much stronger opponent. The beast's magical energy begins to fade away quickly. Terrified, the demon beast turns and flees from the scene. The blonde biker stares in shock as the young man stops his attack. The mysterious young man remains calm and focused during the intense moment. The demon creature digs its sharp claws into the ground, feeling immense fear. A massive, glowing spirit appears behind the young man, looming over the beast. The beast recoils in terror as the powerful energy radiates from the man. The overwhelming power forces the beast to cower in total submission. The spirit towers over the battlefield, completely dwarfing the frightened demon creature. The blonde biker struggles to breathe under the crushing weight of the pressure. She watches in disbelief, wondering how he possesses such incredible, hidden strength. The young man glows with blinding light as he prepares to finish things. He floats effortlessly, his presence commanding the space around him with power. The scene shifts to the distant Guiyan Temple in Luobai City. The scene shifts to the peaceful and mysterious Temple Jiuan. Inside, a master teaches his young disciples about the ancient ways. The master explains that their goal is to seek true immortality. Suddenly, a loud and ominous sound echoes through the temple halls. The master's eyes widen in shock as he senses something powerful. Confused disciples ask why the legendary bell is ringing today. The giant bell rings on its own, signaling a massive event. The master stumbles backward, clearly shaken by the sudden disturbance. Energy ripples through the air as the bell continues to toll. The master loses his footing and collapses to the wooden floor. His worried students rush to his side to help him up. With trembling lips, the master reveals that a legendary figure has returned. Leo stands firm, demanding to know the location of the powerful demon. A mysterious figure lies defeated on the ground, surrounded by dark purple energy. Leo uses his golden magic to absorb the dangerous purple energy away. The dark energy is pulled toward Leo's hand like a powerful vacuum. The defeated foe is drained of all their dark power by Leo. Leo declares that the danger has been removed once and for all. He holds a glowing purple crystal, having successfully contained the dark energy. Now Leo turns his cold attention toward the woman standing nearby. The blonde woman stares at him in awe, calling him beautiful and blushing. Leo uses his mental powers to cast a mysterious spell on her. Golden symbols swirl around as he commands her to forget what she saw. His magic takes hold, wiping her memory clean of the recent encounter. Leo's vision shifts as his internal energy fluctuates wildly. He struggles to maintain his composure while his body begins to fail. Leo recalls his legendary status as a cultivation master. One woman grabs Leo, forcing him into an uncomfortable and unwanted interaction. Leo warns her to back off immediately or face the consequences. He feels helpless because his damaged soul blocks his true power. The two women continue to harass Leo, demanding he obey their commands immediately. Leo feels deeply insulted, struggling to accept his current weakness and humiliation. A blonde woman steps forward, challenging him to fight them in a match. Her red-haired companion joins in, ready to attack the weakened emperor as well. The blonde woman prepares to strike with a powerful punch toward him. She swings her fist through the air, closing in on her target quickly. Leo barely manages to block the incoming attack with his own arm. The impact is loud, but he successfully deflects the blow and feels the force. The red-haired woman screams in anger, threatening to kill him for resisting them. The fight intensifies as they trade quick, aggressive strikes in the open field. Leo uses his remaining skills to dodge and counter their wild movements. With a swift kick, he knocks his opponent down, ending the brief struggle. Leo stands calmly while his two attackers lie defeated on the ground. The blonde woman asks Leo where the weak points actually are. She teasingly questions if Leo even knows how to defend himself. Leo sighs, clearly unimpressed by her aggressive style of self-defense. She decides to take him home since they both had a rough day. Leo puts on a helmet to prepare for the ride home. She reminds him to get ready on the back of the motorbike. Leo hops on behind her, getting ready to head out. He reaches forward to hold onto her, ensuring he is secure. He adjusts his grip, feeling a bit awkward about the sudden closeness. She tells him to hold her waist tight and warns him about her speed. She twists the throttle, and the bike roars to life as they speed away. The blonde woman speeds away on her motorcycle with Leo holding on tight. Leo rides closely behind her, feeling the intensity of the fast ride. The bike accelerates, creating a blur as they rush through the streets. Leo thinks to himself that he could travel much faster using a flying sword. The pair arrives at a large house, the engine roaring loudly as they stop. They pull up to the front gate of the property in the evening. The motorcycle tires skid to a halt as they reach their destination. Leo and the woman start arguing about their recent trip and past comments. She teases Leo, reminding him how shaky and nervous he acted earlier. She gets annoyed and warns him to stop calling her fat once and for all. She tells him he never used to care about his own appearance or insults. She looks at him intensely, her green eyes sharp and focused on his face. The blonde woman is furious and demands to know why Leo stood her up. She confronts him about skipping their planned game session after school. Leo stays silent, looking deep in thought as she continues to vent. Leo finally speaks up, claiming she was the one who actually stood him up. The woman is shocked by his defense and tries to explain she had an emergency. True, she makes a quick phone call to confirm a job was completed successfully. She tells the person on the other end that the target was quite evil. She shows off her impressive power, holding a glowing, magical weapon in her hand. True, the mysterious blonde woman gets back on her motorcycle and speeds away from Leo. The blonde woman speeds away on her motorcycle, leaving the scene behind. She hits the brakes hard, bringing the powerful bike to a sudden stop. She removes her helmet, revealing her face as she prepares to step off. She complains about a lingering scent, finding the situation quite strange. Holding her helmet, she admits that the current moment feels very awkward. A young man stands nearby, listening to the tense conversation unfolding. The young man turns to address the group, catching their attention immediately. The group wonders why this man is bothering them again today. They stare at each other in silence, creating a heavy and uncomfortable atmosphere. A young woman criticizes the man, labeling him as a total womanizer. The man snaps back angrily, demanding to know who she is calling boring. The man walks away while others shout out the name Zishuan in frustration. A door slams shut as someone retreats into a private room. Leo sits on the floor, breathing heavily to recover his strength. He worries that using more soul power will damage his internal organs. Leo examines a mysterious purple crystal he hopes to use for cultivation. He carefully considers how to safely remove the dangerous demonic energy inside. Suddenly, Leo hears a noise and looks toward the door with caution. He reaches out to unlock the door, wondering who is visiting him. A young woman named Sarah is waiting to speak with him. Leo is confused by her bold behavior and questions the local social norms. Sarah speaks with intensity, clearly feeling emotional about their meeting. She places a hand over her heart, showing how much this means. Sarah tells Leo about her plans for the future as she graduates. A group of students gossips about a mysterious friend they are curious to meet. True, they gather at a cafe, discussing Leo and his strange, solitary habits. One student, Clara, expresses a strong desire to get to know Leo better. Clara approaches Leo with food, but he politely declines her offer to eat. Clara persists, trying to get his attention by reaching out to him. A student named Mark complains that Leo is too antisocial despite his good looks. Mark vents about how Leo refuses to share his secrets, even about his weight loss. Clara looks down, clearly feeling frustrated by Leo's cold and distant behavior. Clara decides to take matters into her own hands and heads toward Leo's table. She smiles, determined to invite him to join their group since they share a class. Mark tries to stop her, grabbing her arm to prevent her from approaching him. The cafeteria atmosphere grows tense as students watch the drama unfold between Clara and her friend. Clara looks determined, while her friend stares at her with a mix of shock and anger. Her friend shouts at her, clearly upset that she is still trying to pursue Leo. He yells that if she continues to chase after Leo, she should just leave for good. Clara daydreams about being close to Leo, imagining a future where they are together forever. She blushes deeply, lost in her romantic fantasy about Leo while standing in the cafeteria. Leo stands nearby, looking annoyed and frustrated by the surrounding drama and the women watching him. A blonde girl nearby loses her temper, shouting something intense that cuts through the noise. Leo glances over with a cold, sharp look, clearly unbothered by the chaos around him. The blonde girl stares intensely at someone, firmly demanding that they come closer to her. She sits with her arms crossed, waiting for a response while the cafeteria remains tense. Suddenly, a heavy silence falls over the entire room as everyone waits for what happens next. The students gossip about Leo and his sudden change in attitude toward others. Clara overreacts, loudly insisting that everyone must be falling in love with Leo. Leo is annoyed, feeling insulted that Clara keeps calling him fat. Leo stands up, clearly bothered by the ongoing drama and the attention. His focused, intense gaze shows he is finished with the current situation. Leo walks away while Clara watches him in confusion and disbelief. Leo feels a sudden urge to escape the awkward social environment. He quickly grabs his belongings and begins to rush out of the room. Leo speeds away, leaving the others shocked by his sudden departure. The girls are frustrated, complaining that Leo has become ungrateful and arrogant. One student slams her hand on the table in a fit of pure rage. She pulls out her phone, ready to confront him despite his cold behavior. The girls are furious and start shouting at Leo through their phones. They demand he meet them after school to settle this dispute. One girl threatens that Leo will be in serious trouble if he refuses. Leo arrives at the rooftop and realizes the rumors were actually true. He finds a girl sitting alone on the roof eating her lunch. The girl tells Leo that this spot is her private territory now. Leo boldly claims the territory because he won their last competition. He stands his ground, refusing to be intimidated by her attitude. She mocks him, claiming she only let him win because he is a man. Leo looks annoyed as she continues to lecture him about his behavior. She yells that his bad attitude will prevent him from ever finding a wife. Leo calmly explains that he doesn't care what she thinks about his life. Leo looks on with a calm and focused expression. The girl smiles, clearly confident that she can beat him. She holds up a go piece and challenges Leo to a game. Leo realizes the gravity of the situation as the match begins. The girl glares at him, showing her intense competitive spirit. She makes a swift and decisive move on the board. Leo counters with his own move, placing his piece firmly down. The girl waits for her turn, looking completely at ease. Leo sits before her, ready to fulfill her strange wish. She looks eager while a dark, shadowy aura looms behind her. Leo scoffs at her amateur skills, knowing he is a true master. The two rivals face off, neither willing to back down now. A mysterious blonde woman stands ready, holding a glowing, magical weapon in her hand. Leo sits down for an intense go match against a sharp-eyed girl named Sarah. Leo places a white stone onto the board, starting the game with total confidence. Sarah counters immediately, placing a black stone to block Leo's next move. The game progresses rapidly as both players trade moves, filling the board with stones. Leo watches Sarah closely, wondering if she possesses the skills of a legendary master. Leo remains calm and focused, treating his opponent like a worthy challenge. Sarah feels the pressure, her demonic aura pulsing as she studies the complex board. The sun begins to set over the city, casting long shadows over their serious match. Sarah thinks to herself, realizing the game is becoming dangerous and very difficult. She knows one wrong move will lead to her defeat against Leo's superior strategy. Sarah makes another calculated move, hoping to survive the relentless pressure Leo is applying. Leo and Sarah continue their intense standoff, neither willing to admit defeat in their game. Leo warns Sarah that she should be proud of her effort, but the game must end. Leo reaches into his pocket to retrieve his phone during the match. Leo is determined to win and refuses to settle for anything less than victory. Sarah worries that staying out too late could put Leo in danger in this world. Sarah snaps a quick photo of the board to save their game progress. She tells Leo that they should stop for now and continue the match tomorrow. Sarah begins to stand up, ready to end their session for the evening. Her legs suddenly feel weak and shaky from sitting for so long. She shouts in frustration because her legs have gone completely numb. Sarah loses her balance and accidentally falls toward Leo. The two of them collide in an unexpected and awkward moment. Sarah loses her balance and accidentally crashes right into Leo. Sarah jumps back in shock and covers herself, completely flustered. She glares at Leo with pure rage, clearly upset by the accident. Sarah hits Leo on the head, scolding him for the awkward encounter. The slap catches Leo completely off guard as the chaos unfolds. Sarah screams at Leo, demanding to know why he called her a pervert. She continues to rant, frustrated by the misunderstanding between them. Sarah crouches on the floor, still fuming while holding her items. Leo stands nearby, looking confused and wondering what just happened. Suddenly, Leo's phone rings with an unexpected call from someone named Game Girl. Leo looks stressed while answering a demanding phone call. He is told to get to the school gate immediately. Leo decides to follow the caller to uncover their secret. He checks his phone while keeping a watchful eye out. Leo adjusts his formal suit, looking ready for a confrontation. A blonde girl on a motorcycle yells at him for being slow. She scolds him for skipping class and acting lazy. The girl stands with her arms crossed, looking very annoyed. Leo tries to defend himself, but she refuses to listen. Frustrated, she sighs and gives up on arguing with him. She pauses, clearly still upset by the whole situation. Finally, she tells Leo to get on the motorcycle. Leo arrives at the destination and holds his helmet while looking around. A mysterious blonde biker drives Leo to a large house. Leo steps inside the building and takes off his shoes. Leo remarks that the house is very big, but the girl dismisses him. She warns him not to touch any of her personal belongings. The room is filled with high-end computer equipment and gaming gear. Rows of retro game consoles and cartridges line the shelves nearby. Leo thinks about the secrets of cultivation while looking around. The girl asks if Leo feels helpless for being stuck in this situation. Leo is surprised, but she points out he followed her without asking questions. Leo wonders if she really intends to do something to him. She flirts with him, suggesting that getting closer might not be a bad idea. The girl reaches out and gently touches Leo's chin. She suddenly lets out a loud, dramatic scream. She stares at him with wide, shocked eyes while looking flustered. Leo quickly uses a self-defense move to block her personal space. Leo looks at her sternly and warns her not to touch him. The girl gets angry and asks if he wants to fight. She points at him, challenging him to a long, intense battle. She prepares to strike, ready to test her skills against him. Leo stands calmly while the girl fumes with visible frustration. They decide to settle their argument through a competitive video game. Leo dominates the game, easily defeating her again and again. He yawns, clearly bored by how easily he is winning the match. Victoria is incredibly frustrated after losing 47 games in a row to Leo. Leo decides it is time to leave and prepares to head out. Victoria desperately begs for one more game, but Leo refuses to stay longer. Victoria offers to drive him, but Leo insists on taking a taxi instead. Leo eventually makes his way to Yenhui's home late at night. Yenhui is relaxing at home when she receives an urgent phone call. Her friend warns her that something shocking has been posted in their group chat. Yenhui is stunned to see a photo of Leo and Victoria together online. She is furious and shouting in her room, clearly losing her temper. She paces around her room, breathing heavily and struggling to stay blank. True, she calls out, demanding that the demon show itself to her immediately. The dark energy begins to wrap around her, pulling her into its influence. A terrifying, shadowy purple spirit suddenly emerges from the wall, looming over her. Sarah wonders if she should try reading fantasy novels to gain power. The purple spirit thinks Sarah is acting a bit crazy today. The spirit promises Sarah eternal life if she helps it recover. Sarah demands that the spirit teach her the path to immortality. The spirit glows brightly as it prepares to grant her a gift. A powerful surge of energy strikes Sarah with intense speed. Sarah feels the overwhelming force of the magic flowing into her. A mysterious purple gem appears on Sarah's forehead after the transformation. Sarah is confused because she still does not feel any real power. The spirit suggests using a special skill called Dream of the Soul. Sarah imagines using her new ability to get close to a boy. Sarah gets excited about using hypnosis while the spirit watches awkwardly. A taxi speeds through the city streets at night. Inside, a young man named Yutong is determined to uncover hidden secrets. He keeps a calm and focused expression as he prepares himself. Suddenly, glowing golden energy erupts from his fingertips. Meanwhile, a blonde girl is frustrated after losing 40 games in a row. A small, hidden spirit watches her and wonders how she reached such power. The spirit stays out of sight while observing her strange behavior. The girl shouts, annoyed that she cannot seem to win. The spirit vows to stop her from winning at any cost. The girl suddenly claps her hands, remembering she has work to do. She stretches her arms and sighs about her busy daily schedule. The confused spirit wonders what kind of job she could possibly have. Clara prepares for her day by adjusting her outfit. She reaches out to open a hidden compartment in her room. Clara straightens her tie as she reveals her secret collection. She studies her mysterious gear, confident that she has everything she needs. Clara gives a sharp, knowing smirk while checking her equipment. She carefully inspects the specialized weapons stored inside the wall. The hidden safe is packed with tactical gear and magical artifacts. The spirit watches, wondering about the purpose of these strange items. Various talismans and mysterious tablets are laid out on the shelf. Suddenly, the confused spirit rushes forward to investigate closer. A powerful magical strike hits the ground with a bright flash. The spirit is left stunned as Clara remains calm and focused. Clara prepares for her secret mission by adjusting her gear. A curious spirit watches her, eager to learn her true identity. True Clara arrives at a fancy building on her motorcycle. She wonders why a man she met earlier smells so pleasant. Clara sneaks into the building to continue her investigation. She carefully enters a room, hoping to remain unnoticed. A woman speaks into a microphone at a formal event. The woman announces the bride is ready to give a speech. The bride mentions how busy everyone has been lately. The bride continues her speech to the gathered crowd. Clara is caught off guard during the ceremony while thinking of her parents. Clara waits patiently for the wedding ceremony to conclude before she makes her move. She stays calm and observant while watching the couple from her hidden spot. The officiant finally announces that the wedding ceremony is officially over for everyone. Clara keeps a close watch, ready to act as the crowd begins to disperse. She remains focused, waiting for the perfect moment to step out of the shadows. Someone nearby mentions that it is time to start the party after the ceremony. Clara sits quietly, keeping her arms crossed and her eyes on the targets ahead. She stands up quickly, her heels clicking against the floor as she starts moving forward. The groom tells the bride they will be free once they change their clothes. The bride gestures gracefully, looking forward to the rest of the busy wedding day. Clara takes a firm step forward, her presence now becoming clear to those nearby. The groom notices something unexpected and looks toward the source of the sudden sound. Clara steps forward, finally revealing herself to the wedding party. Her intense, glowing eyes catch everyone by surprise. The bride and groom look on, clearly nervous about her sudden arrival. Clara calmly declares that it is time for them to leave. Suddenly, a monstrous, wolf-like beast emerges to challenge her. The creature pulses with dark energy, ready to strike. It questions Clara about her true desires in this world. The beast lets out a fierce roar and prepares for combat. Clara remains focused as the creature lunges directly at her. She summons a glowing blade of pure energy to defend herself. With a swift motion, she swings her fiery weapon at the monster. The two forces collide, creating a powerful shockwave in the room. Clara raises her glowing energy sword high to strike the giant beast. She swings the blade down with incredible force, cutting deep into the monster. The energy blade leaves a bright, burning trail as it slices through the air. Clara stands ready, watching as the wounded beast collapses to the floor. The creature falls at her feet, defeated by her swift and powerful attack. The dying beast manages to whisper a final, desperate message of gratitude to Clara. Clara stands over the fallen creature, her expression cold and focused after the fight. Nearby, the bride watches in terror, reaching out as the scene unfolds. The beast reflects on its final moments, fearing it will never see its love again. It accepts its fate, hoping Clara shows mercy and fairness in this final act. The beast collapses, its large paw falling limp as it speaks its last words. The creature's hand drops to the ground, marking the end of its life. The bride cries out in despair, begging the dying beast not to leave her. She cradles the creature closely, devastated by the loss of her companion. Her face is twisted in pure agony. She holds up a mysterious device, preparing to wipe the scene from memory. With a wave of her hand, Clara activates a powerful light to erase everything. The bride looks up in a daze, her mind beginning to fade away. Overcome by the energy, the bride collapses onto the floor, unconscious. Clara calls her team on the phone, telling them to come and finish the cleanup. Clara uses a magical thread to drag the tiny, defeated creature across the floor. The unconscious couple lies on the ground while the small spirit creature scampers away. Clara realizes this shape-shifting fox spirit could be a very valuable tool. Clara casts a powerful soul reincarnation spell to control the small being. Glowing golden runes swirl through the air as she channels her energy. A ghostly fox spirit emerges, surrounding the small figure with intense light. A massive beam of energy erupts, signaling the completion of the ritual. In a cloud of smoke, the creature transforms into a new form. The fox spirit now appears as a small, long-haired girl crawling away. The mysterious girl reaches out, but she is quickly pulled back into the shadows. Leo stands alone, looking somber as he remembers his difficult past. He recalls sinking into deep water, feeling regret about leaving his loved one behind. His eyes close as he drifts, feeling the weight of his final moments. Terrified, he screams internally that he does not want his life to end. He reaches out desperately, vowing that he will survive no matter the cost. A powerful, godlike figure appears in the sky, looking down upon the struggling man. The young girl opens her eyes, her gaze sharp and full of hidden intensity. She stands quietly in a room, lost in her own deep and private thoughts. The girl remains silent, her expression showing a mix of confusion and wonder. A mysterious girl with fox-like features wakes up in a strange room. She finds herself sitting on a magical glowing circle in front of Leo. The girl is amazed and says she has never seen such a powerful spell. She looks at Leo with wide, curious eyes, completely stunned. Leo watches her calmly, waiting for her to explain herself. The girl suddenly kneels down on the floor to show her respect. She introduces herself as Chloe and pledges her loyalty to her new master, Leo. Leo asks her to tell him everything she knows about the world of cultivation. Chloe is overwhelmed but agrees to start by explaining how cultivation works. She explains that spiritual energy is scarce and controlled by powerful, selfish clans. Chloe reveals that ordinary people are often used for resources and then discarded. She recalls a painful memory of being captured by a masked figure. Leo listens as Chloe explains how desperate cultivators often turn to evil practices just to survive. Chloe mentions a man named Leo, who belongs to the powerful Phoenix group. She adds that Leo is also part of the Zhao family, one of the 3 great families. Leo is surprised and admits he has never heard of such a thing before. Chloe wonders if Leo has been hiding away from the world for the last 10 years. Chloe excitedly tells Leo that staying together might be a good idea for them. The next day, Leo carries Chloe around in a bag as they head out. Chloe whispers to Leo from inside the bag as they walk together. Leo walks through the school hallway, noticing many girls staring at him with interest. Chloe thinks to herself about how popular Leo is becoming with everyone. Leo sits in class and questions if the world is obsessed with something sexual. He looks around the classroom, feeling confused by the strange atmosphere of this world. Leo looks on with a serious expression as he observes the situation unfolding in the classroom. Sarah tells Leo she left the snacks for him in case he gets hungry later. Suddenly, an angry boy named Zishuan confronts Sarah and demands an explanation for her actions. Zishuan is furious, questioning why Sarah would provide food for someone like Leo. The tension rises as Zishuan aggressively confronts Sarah about her kindness toward the new student. Zixuan loses his temper completely and prepares to lash out at Sarah in his rage. Sarah reacts quickly and firmly grabs Zixuan's arm to stop his aggressive outburst. Leo watches the scene with a dry observation, noting Zixuan's failed attempt at intimidation. Sarah sternly warns Zixuan to stop bullying Leo or he will face serious consequences. The confrontation reaches a boiling point as both students lock eyes in a heated standoff. Zixuan screams in frustration after Sarah puts him in his place. Tears stream down Zixuan's face as he runs away from the classroom. Sarah stands tall while Zixuan retreats in a pathetic display of defeat. Sarah calmly tells Leo to reach out if he faces any more trouble. Meanwhile, classmates gossip and spread rumors about Leo and his new status. A student arrives at a cafe, looking for someone to share the news. A girl excitedly tells her friend that Leo is being pursued by others. The blonde woman notes that Leo is no longer the overweight boy he was. Her eyes narrow as she realizes Leo has completely transformed his appearance. Sarah arrives at the cafe, looking annoyed as she spots the others talking. Leo looks up, surprised to hear someone calling his name out loud. The classroom remains quiet as the students watch the drama unfold. A young woman sits on the floor, deeply focused on a game of Go. She wonders if Leo still holds a grudge against her for her past behavior. She stares intensely at Leo, feeling nervous about their current interaction. Leo calmly places a piece on the board, continuing the intense match. The woman feels frustrated because Leo is playing very strategically. She makes a calculated move, hoping it will finally lead to a solution. Leo thinks to himself that she is a skilled player who reads his moves well. Suddenly, Leo's stomach lets out a loud, hungry growl. Embarrassed, Leo pulls out a bag of food to eat during their break. He carefully unwraps the packaging to get to his meal. He reveals the food hidden inside the wrapping. He picks up his chopsticks, ready to satisfy his hunger. The mysterious woman and Leo sit together on a bench. Leo keeps eating his snack while the woman gets annoyed at him. Leo admits she is a strong player and hard to beat. She stands over him as they prepare for another challenge. She asks Leo if he wants to play a best-of-3 series. She finally introduces herself to Leo as Hannah. Leo thinks about a mysterious person named Hannah while focusing on his next move. The tiny fox spirit starts acting silly and making loud noises during their talk. The little creature yells out a disgusted yuck to express its annoyance. Leo remarks that his strength naturally draws the interest of many beautiful women. The small spirit sits on Leo's lap, listening to him discuss serious matters. Leo sternly asks the spirit where it gets the energy for its dark magic. The spirit explains how dark clans gather resources and manipulate various wealthy families. Leo remains unimpressed and questions how they actually obtain all that money. The cheeky spirit suggests that finding a rich sugar mommy is the fastest way. It continues to ramble about how easy it is to get money from older women. Leo reaches out his hand, clearly tired of the spirit's ridiculous and inappropriate advice. Leo grabs the tiny spirit by the scruff, silencing its teasing chatter immediately. Leo heads home after school to search for rare materials for his charms. A blonde girl suddenly stops Leo and rudely calls him a fat guy. She gets angry when Leo tries to ignore her and keep walking. She continues to berate him, and Leo finally decides to address her. Leo calmly tells her that she is not his ex-girlfriend. The girl offers him a ride on her motorcycle to clear things up. Leo asks if she expects him to just get on the bike himself. The girl gives him a sharp look, clearly annoyed by his hesitation. Leo eventually agrees, and she seems satisfied that he finally cooperated. A mysterious girl watches them leave together and shouts in frustration. The girl realizes that Leo is leaving with someone named Yutan. The girl asks why she doesn't just use hypnosis on Leo. She replies that she wants Leo to choose her willingly from his heart. The motorcycle speeds away down the road with both of them riding. Leo asks if it is finally time for her to let him go. The girl remains silent while keeping a firm grip on him. She teases him, asking if he actually believes the words of women. She insists that he should not try to run away from her. The girl looks at Leo with an intense and slightly flustered expression. She seems overwhelmed and asks what is happening between them. The motorcycle swerves sharply as they continue their intense conversation. Leo questions her motives, asking if she is really chasing after him. They finally stop, and Leo walks away while she follows him, looking frustrated. Leo explores a digital shop filled with mystical items and powerful cultivation gear. He eyes a rare, ancient treasure that has been passed down for a millennium. Leo realizes he desperately needs spirit stones and expensive ginseng for his training. His companion looks on, clearly worried about the high costs of these items. He tells her to keep practicing while he focuses on his new crafting project. A mysterious person in a hoodie walks down the street to meet a delivery. They head toward a waiting van to pick up their important, secret package. The driver confirms the delivery for the person known as White Fox. White Fox receives the mysterious box and is asked to leave a review. Leo finishes his task, surprised by how easy the process was. He holds a simple paper package in his hands. Au peeks out to explain how their world's businesses are deeply connected. Leo prepares his materials to craft new items. Au watches in shock as Leo begins crafting without any prior practice. Leo takes a deep breath to focus his energy. His brush moves quickly across the paper, creating complex designs. A golden dragon spirit suddenly appears, stunning Au. Au is amazed that Leo already finished 2 talismans. Leo remains calm, calling these ancient techniques simple remnants of the past. He notes he needs more spiritual stones to continue his work. The screen shows the high cost of the supplies he needs. Leo walks down the stairs and finds himself confronted by a group of hostile students. The bullies surround Leo and start hurling insults, calling him terrible names to provoke him. Leo remains calm, realizing that these students are completely under someone else's control. He focuses his gaze, ready to see through the illusion cast upon them. Leo stares intensely, analyzing the strange energy affecting their minds and behavior. A girl watches from afar, clearly enjoying how her hypnotic power is manipulating the boys. Leo calmly tells them to get out of his sight, hoping to end the confrontation peacefully. The bullies refuse to leave and continue their aggressive taunting, refusing to back down. The ringleader orders his friends to grab Leo and force him into a fight. The blue-haired bully prepares to strike, but Leo is already moving to defend himself. Leo strikes first with incredible speed, landing a powerful slap directly on the bully's face. The bully is left dazed and stumbling as Leo stands firm, showing no fear at all. Two angry bullies charge forward, ready to attack Leo. A mysterious girl watches from nearby, signaling that it is time to act. She uses her dark, shadowy powers to intervene in the fight. Suddenly, she shouts for everyone to stop their aggression immediately. She confronts the bullies, demanding to know what they are doing. One of the bullies cries about being hit on the nose, acting like a victim. The girl remains skeptical, questioning who actually started the physical fight. She tells Leo that she rushed over as soon as she heard he was in trouble. She smiles at Leo, promising to invite him to dinner another time. She grabs Leo's hand and leads him away from the scene. Leo keeps his guard up as they retreat together safely. The girl holds Leo's hand, questioning the bully's bold and strange behavior. The bully glares at her, clearly feeling frustrated and outmatched. The bully warns her to stop interfering in other people's business. The two stand back to back, locked in a tense, silent confrontation. The bully realizes she has been caught under a hypnotic spell. Confusion spreads as the scene shifts, disorienting everyone involved. The girl feels a dark presence and warns against using more magic. She taunts the bully about her past history with Leo. The girl mocks the bully, calling her actions completely stupid. The frustrated bully turns and walks away down the stairs. Leo sits at his desk, looking at his remaining cash and 2 spiritual stones. He focuses his energy, causing the spiritual stones to glow with a bright blue light. He consults a book to learn how to create powerful, high-quality talismans. Leo channels his power into the paper, creating glowing golden talismans. A magnificent golden dragon spirit emerges from the magical aura he created. The powerful dragon roars, showcasing the immense strength of Leo's new creation. A cute fox spirit watches in awe as Leo prepares to sell his amazing work. Leo looks calm and confident, knowing his powerful talismans will change everything. The fox spirit is incredibly excited about the potential of the talismans. Meanwhile, a man online is shocked and yells that the price is crazy. He cannot believe that a single talisman is being sold for 3 million. He realizes these are no ordinary items, and their value is truly legendary. Sarah sits at her computer, carefully tracking recent disappearances in the city. Leo wonders if Sarah is setting a trap for him to find. He remains cautious, carefully considering his next move regarding her investigation. A mysterious fox spirit watches the situation unfold with great curiosity. Leo decides it is best to stay hidden and avoid any unwanted attention. He finally allows himself a moment of comfort and relaxation at his desk. Leo shifts his focus to checking on the status of Sarah's progress. The quiet house stands in the dark of night, hiding many secrets inside. Sarah continues her deep investigation into why so many young people are vanishing. She stays glued to her screen, hoping to find a breakthrough in the case. Leo focuses on recovering his spiritual energy to prepare for future challenges. Despite the tension, Leo remains determined to keep his plans moving forward. Sarah watches a video of a woman complaining about her unphotogenic hairstyle. Sarah gets frustrated and shouts that the woman's problem isn't her hair. Sarah slams her hand on the desk in a fit of extreme annoyance. She turns to her computer to search the internet for more information. She finds content about how people fake their beauty in photos. Sarah realizes how much effort goes into creating a fake image. She starts listing off all the ways people manipulate their appearance online. Sarah feels overwhelmed by the obsession with surgery and skincare. She continues to list ridiculous trends like the swan neck effect. Sarah covers her face in disbelief at the vanity she is seeing. She starts thinking about the heavy-set man she has been tracking. Sarah wonders if he acts just as fake when he is alone. It is finally lunchtime, and the tension between the two reaches a breaking point. They discuss the cryptic comments made by Zhao earlier that day. They try to figure out what those words really meant for them. Leo sits quietly, dressed in a sharp suit, feeling the weight of the moment. Suddenly, Sarah speaks up to get his full attention. Sarah points at the board, her eyes sharp and focused on their game. She offers to pause the match, refusing to win through unfair circumstances. The two sit in silence, contemplating the board and their next steps. Leo finally agrees, his expression serious as he accepts the pause. He admits he doesn't want to win by taking advantage of the situation. Leo stands up and walks away, leaving Sarah behind with her thoughts. Sarah watches him leave, a subtle, knowing smile appearing on her face. Leo discusses the dangers of evil energy and the balance of yin. He continues to explain the subtle influence of these dark forces. Leo reflects on the quiet moments they shared over some tea. He turns away, leaving Sarah standing alone on the rooftop. Leo walks away while lost in his own deep thoughts. He keeps walking, ignoring the tension between him and Sarah. Sarah watches him leave with a frustrated look on her face. Leo stops in his tracks, feeling a sudden change in atmosphere. Sarah stares at him with intense, angry eyes as they lock gazes. A powerful blonde woman appears, holding a glowing flame in her hand. The scene shifts to a mysterious, demonic figure with glowing eyes. Leo confronts Sarah, asking her what exactly is wrong. Sarah hesitates, struggling to find the right words to say. She looks at him with intense focus and frustration. Sarah is clearly upset, her body language radiating pure anger. She snaps at him, demanding he wait and see what happens. Sarah turns away, visibly agitated as she storms off. The scene shifts as Sarah makes a quick, decisive exit. Inside, Sarah is bathing, still thinking about Leo's defiance. She regrets not controlling him more strictly from the start. Suddenly, dark purple energy erupts around the entire house. Leo lies asleep, unaware that magical flames are surrounding him. Leo wakes up suddenly as a strange, glowing purple energy fills his room. His companion, a fox spirit girl, quickly rushes to his side in alarm. Leo looks at her, confused and trying to understand what just happened. He senses that someone has targeted him with a powerful, dark magic. Leo realizes he was hit by a remote hypnosis technique while sleeping. He is shocked that someone would dare try to control him like this. He wonders who would be bold enough to challenge him with such tricks. At school, a mysterious woman corners Leo in the hallway with a smirk. She commands him to look his best and visit her home tonight. Leo stares at her, seemingly under the influence of her dark spell. The woman watches him closely, confident that her plan is working perfectly. She reveals she hypnotized Leo through a mirror to make him obedient. Leo walks down the hallway, feeling the strange pull of the hypnosis. A sinister smile spreads across Leo's face as the influence takes hold. He adjusts his formal suit, completely under the control of his captor. Leo speaks in a trance, mentioning that the act was done by her. He turns his attention toward Clara, who stands nearby unaware of the danger. A small, dark spirit manifestation appears, mocking Clara from behind. Leo's eyes narrow with cold, calculated focus as he prepares to act. He stares intensely, fully committed to carrying out the mysterious woman's orders. Clara looks shocked, suddenly realizing that something is very wrong here. Dark, purple energy surges around them, crackling with intense magical power. The magical pressure intensifies, swirling violently as the hypnosis reaches its peak. The dark energy taunts Clara, revealing that she was being watched all along. The mysterious woman watches closely, her eyes narrowed in deep concentration. She warns that they must not let anyone interfere with their dark plan. Clara looks tense and focused as she prepares to confront the hidden danger. She wonders if the person who destroyed the paper doll is a powerful demon. Clara walks past a man in a suit, suspecting he might be the one. She decides to ask the Phoenix group to help her investigate the situation quietly. She waits on the street, watching the time to intercept the target. Checking her phone, she confirms the target should be passing by right now. She prepares to take action against the man walking down the quiet road. Suddenly, she speeds toward him on her motorcycle, intending to catch him off guard. The biker looks shocked as the plan takes a sudden, violent turn. The man is struck down, his belongings scattering across the road in the collision. Clara runs toward the man after the collision, clearly worried about his condition. She reaches out to check on him, offering to take him to the hospital. The man looks confused and dazed, as if he does not recognize her at all. He makes a strange comment about learning how to be bad, acting very suspicious. Clara tries to grab his arm to keep him there, demanding to know who he is. He ignores her and mentions he is going to visit Yanhui's house later tonight. Clara is shocked and confused by his sudden mention of Yanhui. She stares at him intensely, trying to figure out if he is being truthful. The man continues to speak in a strange, detached way that bothers Clara. Clara grows frustrated and clicks her tongue, suspecting something is definitely wrong here. She wonders if he has been hypnotized or is under some sort of spell. Clara decides to take action and uses her powers to bind him in place. Clara presses her fingers to the man's forehead to break the mysterious spell. She channels her energy into him, hoping to snap him out of his trance. The man remains still, showing no reaction to her powerful technique. Clara is shocked that her magic failed and realizes someone very strong controlled him. She decides to use the powerful Ghost Fan Redemption Seal to try again. Golden energy glows brightly around the man's neck as the seal takes hold. The magical force hits him hard, finally forcing a reaction from the man. The man looks dazed and confused as the spell finally begins to break. He seems disconnected, unsure of where he is or what is happening. His mind appears to be clearing as the mental fog slowly lifts away. The man clutches his head and wonders out loud why he is there. Clara watches him closely, waiting to see if he remembers his connection to Yanhui. The mysterious man stands before Clara, looking confused and slightly dazed. The man suddenly asks Clara if she minds him visiting his fiancée. Clara flushes bright red, caught off guard by his bold and strange question. He questions her, asking if she really thinks he would just run into her. Clara shouts back, clearly annoyed and embarrassed by his bizarre behavior. She yells about the recent motorcycle accident, refusing to deal with his nonsense. Clara forcefully grabs the man by his collar, demanding he stop talking. She slaps a bank check right onto his face to shut him up. Clara walks away, telling him he clearly has a very hard time ahead. The man watches the money, wondering if it's worth trading for spiritual stones. The check flutters through the air as the man remains lost in thought. Clara speeds away on her motorcycle, determined to leave the confusion behind. Clara listens to the man's request and agrees to follow his strange instructions. She rides her motorcycle to a specific house to investigate his mysterious behavior. Clara removes her helmet and prepares to enter the quiet, empty building. She notices something glowing on her hand as she approaches the dark room. A mysterious golden energy begins to manifest from her ring, pulsing with power. The energy takes the shape of a glowing weapon as she steps inside. She kicks the door open, ready to confront whatever is waiting for her. Clara enters the room with her glowing blade drawn, looking for answers. She stops in her tracks when she sees a framed picture on the table. The photo shows a group of people, but their faces have been deliberately erased. Clara searches the messy room, finding scattered papers and clues about the man. She discovers a wall covered in photos of the same man, confirming her suspicions. Clara finds several mysterious manuals belonging to Leo while searching the hidden house. She stares intensely at the pages, trying to decipher their strange and complicated contents. Her face begins to flush with heat as she reads the shocking information inside. The intense details in the book make her feel overwhelmed and deeply flustered. Suddenly, a voice interrupts her through an earpiece, warning her of a new problem. The voice reports that Yanhui has completely vanished, leaving them in a difficult spot. Blank. True blank. True Clara acknowledges the order to track down the missing girl at all costs. She reflects on the situation, calling the person behind this mystery very cunning. Clara stands in the quiet room, deep in thought about her next strategic move. The dark mansion remains silent as the search for the truth continues outside. Leo worries that Yanhui is just a pawn in a larger, darker game. He suddenly hears a loud knocking at his office door. Someone bursts in, urgently asking if he has seen the latest news. Paperwork and files are scattered across the room in the commotion. He holds a mysterious object, feeling its strange and heavy weight. His companion looks at him with a confused and worried expression. The door slams shut, signaling that they are now locked in. Leo turns back to his computer to focus on the investigation. He stares at the screen, hoping for a lead on the case. The computer displays Yanhui's profile, but there is still no trace of her. A fox spirit watches closely, angry at those who dare target the master. Leo senses a powerful and dark energy lingering in the room. Energy swirls around Leo as he prepares to use a mysterious artifact. Leo digs through a cardboard box, searching for something specific. A friend watches Leo and asks what he is looking for. Leo pulls out a pair of wooden boards from the container. He focuses his mind, concentrating on the task ahead of him. Golden light erupts from his hands as he activates his power. Leo holds the boards, channeling spiritual energy into them. The energy forms a bright, swirling vortex in front of him. The boards transform into an ancient compass tool known as a synod. His companion recognizes the tool used for finding directions. Leo fears this device might still fail to locate Yanhui. He grips the compass tightly, hoping for a sign of her location. Leo prepares to use a glowing green crystal with his compass. He focuses his spiritual energy to activate the powerful ancient tool. A bright burst of energy explodes from the compass as it activates. The compass floats in the air, surrounded by a swirling green aura. A young fox spirit watches the magical display with wide, curious eyes. The compass needle spins rapidly, searching for a sign of Yanhui. Leo holds the compass steady while the fox spirit looks on closely. The fox spirit tells Leo to save his energy for now. Leo agrees and prepares to put the mystical compass away. Leo is suddenly interrupted by a loud, sharp noise near his window. He turns around, wondering what could be making such a disturbance. The noise happens again, echoing through his room and startling him. Leo looks worried as he realizes someone is outside trying to get his attention. He approaches the window to see who is causing all this commotion. Leo stares intensely at the window, trying to identify the mysterious person. He stands before the glass, waiting for the figure to reveal themselves. To his surprise, a blonde woman is standing right there at his window. She makes a strange gesture at him, clearly wanting to be let inside. She yells at him, and Leo jokingly considers calling for help. Leo pretends to call the police while she continues to demand he open up. The woman suddenly drops her act and apologizes for her earlier behavior. The mysterious blonde woman nervously reaches out to touch Leo's leg. Clara shouts that the woman is taking advantage of Leo's kindness. Leo asks the woman if she only came to get her wounds healed. He keeps his distance while she continues to act strangely near him. The woman looks flustered as she asks what she did to upset him. Leo looks away, clearly feeling uncomfortable with her sudden presence. He keeps his expression calm and guarded while they stand in his room. Leo tells her to leave, annoyed that she keeps using the window. He grabs her shoulder to stop her from climbing back out again. Leo confronts her about why she is really here in his home. She stands by the window, still acting very shy and hesitant to leave. The woman blushes deeply, looking completely overwhelmed by their intense conversation. Leo looks intense as he stares down the unexpected visitor in his room. He questions why the woman is acting so friendly and agreeable all of a sudden. Blank. True later, Leo arrives at school dressed in a sharp suit for the day. Two female classmates approach him, gossiping about someone they dislike, named Yanhui. Leo feels uncomfortable and asks the girls to please leave him alone. The girls continue to crowd him, ignoring his request for some personal space. A new girl suddenly appears at the doorway, waving a friendly greeting to him. The two classmates panic and run away, shouting that someone important has arrived. The mysterious new student approaches Leo and asks him for his name. Leo stands still as the new student gets close to him in the hallway. The green-haired student smiles warmly while waiting for Leo to answer him. Leo looks on in total confusion as the strange girl approaches him. The girl turns to her friend, Lele, and suggests heading to the main entrance. Lele seems surprised to encounter such a bold and forward girl in the hallway. Suddenly, the girl kicks the classroom door open with a loud, aggressive thud. The door swings wide open from the force of her powerful, sudden kick. She shouts at a heavy-set student, warning him not to leave school later. Leo watches the scene, wondering how this girl knows who he is. Leo stands there, completely puzzled by this girl's strange and sudden behavior. Blank. True Leo walks down the hallway, carrying his bag and keeping to himself. A blonde girl approaches Leo and firmly tells him to follow her. The two of them walk together toward their next destination in the school. Leo holds a mysterious file, feeling he should have found it sooner. The blonde girl explains she searched for a missing person everywhere for days. She stood there, frustrated that the person had vanished without a single trace. Leo smirked, adjusting his glasses while thinking about the strange situation. His glasses flashed with light as he prepared to make his next move. The blonde girl insisted the suspect must have used a costume to escape. She told Leo they needed to investigate the darkest, gloomiest places nearby. They walked together, ready to uncover the truth behind the mysterious disappearance. Leo noted that he would have to return here again later today. He looked at the blonde girl, his expression calm and full of confidence. A small, knowing smile appeared on Leo's face as he planned ahead. They arrived at a large, quiet building to continue their secret investigation. Leo stands in front of his computer, focused on his next task. He calls out to a girl named Alice, who is nearby. Alice, who has fox-like ears, is typing rapidly on her keyboard. She is shocked to see the numbers on the screen hitting 10 million. Leo watches calmly as Alice stares at the screen in disbelief. Alice looks at the rapid growth of the numbers with wide eyes. She cannot believe how fast the total has reached 5 million. A blonde woman named Clara watches the same data on her own monitors. Clara smirks, realizing that someone is revealing their strategy. She thinks her opponents are fools for making such a reckless move. Clara watches the screen as the digital numbers climb higher and higher. She is shocked to see the total reach 10 million already. Clara mocks them, wondering how many people they had to involve to succeed. Meanwhile, Sarah and her team stand on a cliff, searching for something. Sarah points toward the forest, believing they have finally found the right spot. She holds a special device, checking the readings to confirm their location. Brenda stands nearby, noting that the energy in the area is very strong. Sarah focuses hard, ready to carry out the mission assigned by the group. Brenda draws her sword, sensing that danger might be lurking nearby. Suddenly, a glowing green claw strikes out from the shadows at Brenda. Brenda reacts quickly, swinging her blade to defend against the mysterious attack. The weapons clash with a loud sound as Brenda fights off the strike. The group realizes they have walked straight into a magical trap. Glowing energy tentacles begin to surround them from all sides. The mysterious force grabs onto Brenda's leg, pulling her down. Brenda is shocked as the spectral hands reach for her chest. The magical energy tightens its grip, making it hard to move. Frustrated and angry, Brenda yells out in defiance of the attack. A powerful blast of energy erupts, shaking the entire forest floor. Brenda pulls out a heavy-duty cannon to fight back against the trap. She fires a shot, sending a projectile flying toward the energy source. Brenda prepares herself, aiming her weapon at the glowing phantom. She leaps across the rocks to gain a better firing angle. With a fierce look, she readies her gear for the next strike. Brenda raises her massive cannon, shouting for her enemies to die. A powerful blast of energy erupts, tearing through the forest surroundings. The magical formation is completely shattered by the sheer force of her attack. A thick cloud of dust and debris fills the air after the explosion. Leo watches the scene unfold, stunned by the unexpected turn of events. Leo wonders if Brenda used a secret modern weapon to break the trap. He remains silent, trying to process what he just witnessed. Leo admits that this display of power is truly unprecedented. He stays on high alert, waiting to see what happens next. Suddenly, a strong woman crashes through the wall, ready for a fight. The wall crumbles under the pressure of the sudden intrusion. The mysterious woman is surrounded by a glowing blue aura of energy. The mysterious woman towers over Leo, radiating intense blue energy after crashing through the wall. A shocked witness warns her master that this woman is using the same dangerous tactics again. The woman stands tall, determined to complete her mission and handle the tasks ahead. She keeps a sharp eye on her surroundings while maintaining her powerful, glowing stance. She speaks of dark methods like hypnosis, showing she is a formidable and cunning foe. She moves quickly, noting that it is unlikely their main enemy will show up personally. She clenches her fist, ready to unleash a crushing blow against anyone in her way. With a powerful strike, she pins Leo down, leaving him dazed and unable to fight back. She stands over him, coldly planning her next move to seize control of the situation. Her eyes stay fixed on the goal, determined to take down the dragon at all costs. Leo lies defeated on the floor while she looms over him, feeling lucky about her success. She quickly secures her victory, leaving no room for her enemies to escape her grasp. Leo struggles on the ground after being overpowered by a mysterious new force. A van quickly speeds down the empty street to reach a hidden location. The vehicle pulls up to the side of a quiet, industrial-looking building. Leo is suddenly grabbed and forced into a bag by an unknown assailant. He is dragged away, still feeling disoriented from the sudden physical attack. A woman in a red shirt appears and mocks him with a cold greeting. The scene shifts as the woman corners Leo in a dark alleyway. She smiles down at Leo, clearly enjoying his shock at seeing her. Leo tries to keep his composure, but he is clearly rattled by her presence. The woman grows impatient with him and lets out a sharp, annoyed sound. A single drop of water falls, signaling a tense moment in the hideout. Two young women relax on a park bench during a quiet moment. A peaceful deer grazes on the grass deep within the forest. The deer lifts its head, sensing that something is very wrong. It looks down at the ground, startled by a sudden, loud noise. The deer looks around in fear as the forest begins to shake. The ground erupts as powerful energy blasts through the quiet woods. The forest is torn apart by a massive wave of destructive magic. A giant explosion fills the sky as the forest is completely destroyed. A mysterious voice echoes out, warning that no one will escape them. A powerful, shadowy figure appears, surrounded by glowing green energy blades. A fighter with blue hair stares intently, ready to face the threat. The battle begins as energy blades clash in a flurry of sparks. The blue-haired fighter tells everyone to use their energy to stay safe. The group stands together, ready to face the danger head-on. Suddenly, the fighter clutches their head as intense green energy surges outward. A loud, piercing scream echoes through the forest as the fighter suffers. The fighter's face transforms, revealing a terrifying and decaying skull mask. Sarah watches with worry as the mysterious purple energy begins to drift away. Sarah summons a powerful bow made of pure, glowing flame. She moves with incredible speed, darting across the battlefield to reposition. Sarah pulls back her flaming bowstring, locking onto her target. She focuses all her energy, aiming directly at the ghostly face. With a quick step, she prepares to launch a devastating counterattack. A streak of golden light fires from her bow, piercing through the air. A flash of bright energy erupts, signaling a powerful attack. The energy surges forward, clashing against the ghostly force. The terrifying entity mocks them, asking if that is all they can do. Sarah and Clara stand ready, watching the chaos unfold with grim determination. The entity lets out a haunting, echoing cry. A dark mist pours out, threatening everyone nearby. The dark energy forces the fallen to rise as mindless zombies. One of the fighters turns into a ghastly, skeletal creature. The twisted figure lunges forward in a terrifying display of strength. Clara prepares her blade, focusing on the incoming threat. Sarah draws her weapon, ready to defend against the charging undead. The battlefield fills with the desperate screams of those trapped. Sarah stands her ground as two zombified warriors rush toward her in the forest. An older woman warns Sarah to finish off the puppets while she manages the poison. The warriors have been completely consumed by the dark poison, losing their humanity. Sarah lunges forward with her glowing blade, ready to strike the aggressive enemies. She swings her sword with incredible speed, aiming to disable the puppet fighters. Sarah dodges a clumsy attack while staying focused on the battle ahead of her. She hesitates for a split second, recognizing a familiar face among the attackers. The undead warrior whispers a name, showing that a small spark of memory remains. Despite the emotional toll, Sarah delivers a powerful strike to neutralize the threat. Sarah struggles as she realizes she must fight those she once called friends. She tightens her grip on her weapon, preparing to continue the difficult fight. With a sharp motion, Sarah slashes through the air, pressing her final attack. The men look down at her, realizing they are the only ones left. They watch Sarah struggle, regretting that things ended up this way. Sarah reaches out with her trembling hand, desperate to find a solution. Her fingers stretch toward the light, hoping for a final miracle. An older woman screams out in terror, calling for help for Sarah. The attacker mocks Sarah for being distracted while trapped in a glowing barrier. Bright green energy flares up, intensifying the pressure on Sarah's defenses. The cruel opponent threatens to break through Sarah's protective shield very soon. Sarah watches in terror as her barrier begins to crack under the assault. The attacker raises a sharp blade, preparing to land a final, deadly blow. Sarah lies helpless on the ground as the attacker looms over her. The blade swings down with lethal speed, cutting through the rainy air. Blood splatters everywhere as the strike hits its target with brutal force. Sarah is pinned down, suffering a deep wound as the blade pierces through. A sudden, violent counterattack decapitates the assailant in a flash of gore. She leaps into the air, surrounded by a swirling aura of bright green power. A ghostly, glowing face emerges from the energy, mocking her with a wicked smile. Clara stares at the spirit, wondering how it managed to survive her previous attack. The spirit laughs, questioning if Clara can truly handle the power of its sword. A massive, glowing blade streaks through the air, heading straight for its target. The battlefield erupts as magical strikes collide, creating a chaotic storm of light. The intense clash continues to tear through the sky, leaving the land shaking below. Clara lies on the ground, badly wounded and bleeding from her stomach. The mysterious red-haired girl mocks her, saying she should have attacked sooner. The girl reaches into her robes to pull out a strange item. She reveals a small, brown gourd and tells Clara to drink from it. Clara drinks the liquid from the gourd to help recover her strength. Clara takes a deep breath after swallowing the magical liquid. The red-haired girl watches Clara with a calm and focused expression. She tells Clara to rest while she handles the situation. She repeats that Clara is safe for now and should just rest. Blank. True Clara collapses to the ground as the red-haired girl turns away. The red-haired girl looks around and asks about the classmate Zhao mentioned. The red-haired girl consults her guide to find a location filled with extreme energy. She suddenly rejects a suggestion, showing she has her own plan in mind. She leaps onto her giant flying sword, preparing to leave the area immediately. She playfully calls out to her companion while hovering on her massive weapon. She accidentally bumps her head against the sword, letting out a small cry. She declares she is heading to the filled location to treat the prisoner. With a quick motion, she flies off into the stormy sky on her blade. She waves goodbye to those left behind with a cheerful, confident smile. The girl speeds away through the rain, disappearing into the distance. She arrives at a dark, mysterious building tucked away in the storm. Inside, the atmosphere is heavy and filled with rows of iron cages. A prisoner sits trapped in the center on a glowing, magical circle. The red-haired girl prepares for her next move in the dark facility. A small creature watches the woman from the shadows, wondering what she is doing. The woman stands firm, her expression serious and focused. A loud, heavy sound echoes through the dark room. She looks around, feeling the tension in the air. She wonders if she is being followed or watched again. She turns her back, keeping her guard up in the dim light. A small figure approaches the heavy wooden door. The woman opens the door and spots a small girl standing there. The woman stares down at the young girl, curious about her presence. The young girl calls out to her aunt, announcing that the little bastard has arrived. The girl turns away, ready to lead the way forward. The captors discuss how to handle their prisoner once he finally wakes up. Sarah struggles to hold back a massive blade wielded by a mysterious girl. Sarah uses her glowing energy to try and push the heavy weapon away. She grunts in pain while desperately fighting to keep the blade from hitting her. The young girl hovers in the air, radiating a dark and dangerous aura. Blood drips from Sarah as the intense pressure takes a toll on her body. Sarah yells in frustration, channeling more power into her hands to resist. She swings her energy, creating a sharp shockwave to force the blade back. A powerful blast of energy erupts, shaking the entire room with force. The attack sends a bright projectile flying toward the enemy. Sarah collapses, clutching her side as she gasps for air after the clash. Weak and bleeding, Sarah wonders who this terrifying young girl could be. Sarah is badly hurt and struggling to stand after the intense battle. The young girl mocks Sarah, perched casually on her massive, glowing blade. Sarah, bleeding and desperate, calls out for help from her ally, Major Jilyu. The mysterious energy around her seems to swallow Sarah's desperate cry for help. A strange, powerful purple energy continues to pulse, cutting off communication completely. We flash back to one day ago, at a quiet house. A girl with dark hair stares intensely at a mysterious, horned woman. The two women sit down together, preparing for an intense game of strategy. The dark-haired girl sighs, clearly exhausted from the repetitive mental strain. The game continues as the girl complains about her inability to beat her opponent. Suddenly, the girl senses a surge of dangerous energy coming from somewhere far away. She realizes the terrifying power of a demon's sword is being unleashed nearby. A young woman in a casual shirt stands by a doorway. The scene shifts to a quiet house surrounded by trees. Suddenly, a terrifying purple aura traps the woman inside. The dark energy mocks her and demands to know if she recognizes it. The woman looks terrified as the purple flames tighten around her. She realizes her attacker belongs to the dangerous heavenly demon sect. The shadow continues to hold her suspended in the air. The dark entity cruelly threatens to destroy her entire organization. The woman struggles to break free from the suffocating purple power. She desperately cries out for help as the situation turns dire. A massive explosion suddenly blasts the door open, shaking the room. Smoke fills the air as a new, mysterious force enters the fray. A strange purple energy fills the room, pulsing with dangerous power. Suddenly, a foot steps firmly into the room, kicking up a cloud of dust. The mysterious newcomer arrives, their presence heavy and intimidating. The dark entity senses the intruder's intense energy and feels immediate dread. A young woman watches as the powerful energy ripples through the air. The dark entity is caught in a trap, surrounded by the newcomer's aura. Terrified, the dark entity cries out, begging for mercy from its captor. The woman looks on, realizing the fight has taken a sudden, violent turn. The newcomer casually pins the purple energy down with a single foot. The woman stares in shock as the entity pleads for its life. The entity begs, claiming it is the son of a powerful sect leader. The desperate entity tries to bribe its way out of this deadly situation. The powerful woman stands over the defeated entity, who cowers on the floor. She coldly insults the creature, claiming it is no better than a dog. With a wave of her hand, she keeps the dark entity trapped in magic. She tells the entity to keep her human host alive for future use. The host, a young man, gratefully thanks the woman for saving his life. His expression remains suspicious as he watches her closely. The woman rests, seemingly unbothered while the dark entity remains bound and trapped. She walks toward the door, questioning the entity about its devious plans. The entity admits it is using the man as a host to regain power. It reveals it is hiding in an old factory and needs 10 days total. The woman demands to know if the entity truly has the host under control. The entity explains that using a specific person as bait will ensure their success. The mysterious woman mocks the dark entity's plan but agrees to move forward. The dark entity warns that their enemies are closing in on their location. The entity urges its master to retrieve the shards before it is found. The woman looks concerned as the entity mentions a dangerous rival. The woman is shocked to hear the name of the powerful emperor mentioned. She recalls feeling a massive, crushing energy that destroyed her previous sword strike. The entity vows to destroy the emperor's soul forever this time. The entity continues its dark oath to eliminate the emperor for good. The entity heals its wounds while preparing for the coming battle. A young girl with pink hair floats in the air, controlling magical blades. She stares ahead with determined, glowing eyes as she channels her power. The pink-haired girl looks panicked as she prepares to face a deadly threat. Her eyes glow with a strange, intense energy as she readies her power. The mysterious attacker mocks her, vowing to end her life immediately. The girl summons a glowing crystalline weapon to defend against the incoming assault. A sharp, metallic clash rings out as their powerful attacks collide midair. The attacker continues to laugh maniacally while unleashing a flurry of rapid strikes. The two fighters trade blows at blinding speeds in a desperate life-or-death struggle. The girl manages to block a dangerous strike, though her opponent remains relentless. She swings her weapon with precision, hoping to find an opening in the defense. The attacker grins wickedly, clearly enjoying the chaos of this intense magical battle. With a powerful movement, the fighter launches a devastating kick toward her target. The strike lands successfully, forcing a sharp cry of pain from her opponent. The cruel attacker laughs while preparing a deadly trap for the girl. She swings her glowing sword, ready to strike with lethal force. The attacker mocks her, sending spinning magical blades toward her position. A powerful blast of energy erupts from the clash of their weapons. The girl narrowly dodges the incoming assault in the dark arena. She creates a shimmering purple barrier to protect herself from harm. The attacker taunts her, conjuring a glowing orb as a final gift. A massive, shadowy serpent emerges to attack the girl with fury. The girl sighs, noting that the technique is weaker than expected. The giant snake prepares to unleash its energy directly at her. She grips her heavy blade tightly, annoyed by her opponent's constant crying. With a sharp look, she declares that killing such a weak foe is shameful. The giant serpent lunges forward with a fierce, glowing attack. Sarah jumps into the air to dodge the powerful strike. The serpent stares intensely, ready to unleash another blast. A massive beam of energy erupts from the creature's mouth. Sarah skillfully maneuvers through the air to avoid the explosion. The serpent continues to coil and hunt its agile target. The creature gathers energy over a glowing blue magic circle. Sparks of light fly as the battle reaches a new peak. A mysterious woman appears inside a swirling, misty portal. The demon-like girl stares ahead with glowing red eyes. A blonde fighter prepares her weapon for the next challenge. Blank. True, Sarah screams as a mysterious, glowing purple energy erupts from her body. The intense power surges outward, filling the area with a dark, menacing aura. Sarah remains trapped on her knees as the magical light continues to spiral. A sharp, glowing purple blade suddenly appears, vibrating with immense power. The mysterious sword floats in the air, crackling with dark, magical energy. A young red-haired girl watches the floating blade with a serious expression. The girl realizes this is no ordinary weapon, but a powerful, broken relic. Her eyes widen as the true, dangerous nature of the sword is revealed. The red-haired girl stands firm, her shadow shifting into a strange shape. She warns that with the master away, the situation has become very dangerous. The girl clenches her fists, preparing for the battle that is about to begin. She recognizes the blade as the legendary weapon of a terrifying underworld demon. A terrifying presence looms over Clara as she stares at the massive, glowing skulls. The intense pressure makes it hard for Clara to even breathe properly. She realizes that this overwhelming force is completely dominating her senses. High above, a mysterious figure watches the scene unfold from a dark opening. Clara clenches her fist, ready to confront the dangerous entity standing before her. The dark demon girl scoffs at Clara, calling her a scoundrel without fear. Clara moves with incredible speed, launching a surprise attack at the demon. The demon notes how difficult it has been to track down this hidden power. Clara dashes forward, channeling her energy to unleash a powerful sealing technique. She activates the 8th level of the sealing art to restrain her opponent. Glowing seals strike the demon, forcing her to react to the sudden assault. The bright seals wrap tightly around the demon, trapping her in a glowing cage. Clara stares intensely as she prepares her powerful sealing technique. Glowing energy ribbons swirl around to restrain the dangerous demon. The energy strikes the ground, locking the creature in place. Clara chants, calling upon ancient power to summon thousands of talismans. Countless golden talismans rain down to surround the trapped demon. A massive sphere of light erupts, pinning the enemy down completely. Clara channels her energy, pushing her limits to maintain the seal. She unleashes a fiery lotus attack to finalize the binding process. The red lotus petals close in, sealing the demon away tightly. A final blast of light hits the center, securing the trap. Clara remains focused, determined to ensure that good prevails over evil. With her hands pressed together, she forces the demon to hide away. A glowing, spectral figure appears, radiating intense energy from its core. Clara stands firm, channeling her power to confront the emerging threat. The spirit commands itself to merge, focusing its immense power for battle. With a sudden surge, the entity begins to shift and change form. A powerful blast of energy ripples through the air, shaking the surroundings. The spectral figure begins to crack under the pressure of its own transformation. Clara watches in shock as the situation grows increasingly dangerous and tense. A massive pillar of red light erupts, signaling a major shift in power. Rumors spread that the legendary fighter Victoria is truly unbeatable in combat. Voices whisper about her endless strength and her dominance on the battlefield. They claim she is the strongest person in the entire world. A mysterious, glowing sword is drawn, ready to settle the final score. Clara struggles to defend herself as she faces a terrifying new enemy. The mysterious woman mocks her, asking if she understands why the fight continues. The attacker corners Clara, making it clear that she is completely outmatched. Clara is wounded, and a dark, magical energy radiates from her injury. The woman stands over her, declaring that the end is near. Clara collapses to the floor, unable to stop her opponent's final advance. The defeated Clara lies helpless on the ground as the woman looms above. The mysterious woman taunts Clara, commenting on her fading strength. She grips her enchanted blade tightly, preparing to finish the job. Clara remains broken on the floor, barely holding onto her consciousness. Clara struggles to stay conscious, her vision blurring as she faces her attacker. The mysterious woman swings her glowing blade with incredible, lethal speed. The attacker sighs, disappointed that her target has not yet revealed her true power. She notes that even though she is here, something specific has not appeared yet. The dark, horned woman turns her back, seemingly losing interest in the fight. She pauses, her glowing red eyes looking back with a cold, detached expression. She prepares another strike, her movements precise and full of dangerous intent. The blade flashes forward, closing the distance between them in an instant. A powerful blast of dark energy tears through the ground where Clara lies. The woman stands tall, still intent on finding the secret she is hunting for. She dismisses Clara with a cruel insult, calling her nothing more than a simple fish. Clara lies defeated on the floor, completely at the mercy of her cruel opponent. The horned woman pauses, breathing heavily while she waits for a reaction. She stands over the fallen Clara, mocking her for her apparent weakness. The attacker glares down, disappointed by the lack of resistance shown. She cruelly asks if Clara has become a coward since arriving here. She claims that men in this world are all equally pathetic and weak. She wonders aloud how someone so feeble could possibly rule the world. Her cold, red eyes search Clara for any sign of hidden strength. Clara lies on the ground, injured and struggling to find her voice. She reaches out weakly, her hand trembling against the cold floor. The villain gestures toward the nearby cages, threatening everyone trapped inside. She smiles wickedly, promising to kill all the prisoners if Clara refuses. The attacker looms over the defenseless girl, ready to strike again. The injured Clara glares at her tormentor, refusing to back down easily. Nearby, a terrified girl watches the confrontation while trembling in her cage. A mysterious man stands silently behind the bars, observing the brutal scene. He remains motionless, his back turned to the ongoing conflict. The horned woman smiles wickedly, clearly enjoying the fear she has created. A drop of magic or energy begins to fall toward the helpless prisoner. The prisoner remains pinned and vulnerable while the villain looms over them. Clara's eyes widen as she realizes the danger is reaching its peak. The villain counts down, preparing to deliver a final, cruel ultimatum. One of the prisoners cries out in terror, begging for their life. The horned woman turns her back, walking away while the tension rises. A chaotic collage of faces shows the intense fear and pain of everyone involved. A mysterious golden light begins to swirl in the sky above the city. Multiple rings of energy appear, signaling a massive and powerful event. A giant beam of pure light strikes the ground with incredible force. A destructive golden tornado erupts, tearing through everything in its path. A mysterious energy attack hits the city, leaving everyone in a state of confusion. A man notices strange glowing rings in the sky above the city. He points out a distant, abandoned factory that seems to be the source. Despite the cold weather outside, he feels an intense and unnatural heat. He reaches out toward the glowing phenomenon to get a better look. The sky seems to tear open, revealing a bright light shining through the clouds. A powerful beam of energy continues to strike the city skyline. He records the strange event on his phone to share with others. The footage of the mysterious sky beam quickly gains popularity online. Clara watches the video on her phone while relaxing at home. Her aunt asks if she has finished her schoolwork yet. Clara looks at her phone, distracted by the strange news from the city. A person walks down the hall, wondering if Leo lives in the Huinchi district. Suddenly, debris flies through the air as an unexpected explosion rocks the building. Leo reacts quickly, turning around to face the sudden threat behind him. A mysterious attacker lunges at Leo, pinning him down with incredible force. Leo looks toward the shattered wall, shocked by the destruction in his home. He wonders who could have caused this chaotic and dangerous situation. Leo stands amidst the smoke and broken walls, trying to process the attack. Outside, a massive energy beam strikes a skyscraper, causing panic throughout the city. The mysterious woman grips a glowing red blade, ready to continue her assault. She looms over Leo, her dark appearance and red eyes showing her hostility. Leo draws his own weapon, preparing for an intense fight against his opponent. The woman watches the city from above, observing the devastation caused by the beam. A powerful blast rocks the city from above. The mysterious woman charges up a dangerous red energy orb. She holds the glowing power tightly in her hand. A massive beam of red light pierces through the dark, stormy clouds. The woman prepares for a final, intense confrontation. The red energy surges, fueled by dark desires and chaos. A swirling vortex of dark energy forms in the sky above. The woman stands alone against the gathering storm. Glowing red eyes emerge from within the thick, dark clouds. Something massive and terrifying watches from the shadows. A giant, monstrous serpent reveals its face in the sky. The beast lets out a deafening roar as it descends. The giant serpent fires a massive beam of red energy straight down from the sky. The beam crashes into the city buildings, causing massive explosions and destruction. Scared civilians run for their lives as fire and smoke fill the streets. Powerful shockwaves blow through the city as people desperately try to escape. The demon girl looks down, surprised that her opponent made no attempt to dodge. She watches in complete disbelief as the dust slowly begins to settle. Leo stands completely unhurt inside a brilliant golden shield of energy. Golden flames swirl around his feet as the strong barrier protects him. Leo stays calm and composed while holding his powerful defense. The demon girl mocks Leo, comparing his defensive style to his father. Mentioning his father makes her grow extremely furious and enraged. She screams in anger as the monster prepares to fire another blast. The demon girl angrily questions why Leo is interfering in her family affairs. She commands the giant serpent to fire more red energy blasts at the city. The destructive red energy crashes into the city buildings, causing massive explosions everywhere. The villain cruelly mocks Leo, telling him to surrender and die for the people. The serpent prepares another powerful attack as its energy glows intensely. A terrifying red beam of energy strikes down from the sky toward the city. The serpent unleashes a devastating blast, tearing through the city landscape. Massive fire and smoke fill the air as the city suffers under the assault. The demon girl watches the destruction from above, feeling satisfied with the chaos. Leo remains calm and focused, ready to face the demon girl again. He stands firm amidst the fire, preparing to counter the enemy's attack. Leo lifts his hand, his fingers glowing with a golden, protective energy. Leo focuses his energy, forming a sharp blade of golden light with his fingertips. The demon girl watches in shock, realizing Leo is ready to counter her attack. Leo unleashes a powerful sword strike that slices through the giant serpent effortlessly. The demon girl looks on, stunned as her massive summon is defeated by his power. Leo holds a mysterious, dark-bladed weapon, his expression calm and fully focused. Leo calmly remarks that he has been waiting for this moment to succeed. He prepares to swing his blade, channeling his strength for another devastating blow. The demon girl readies her glowing red sword, refusing to back down from the fight. She stares at Leo, determined to prove that his efforts will ultimately fail. She launches herself forward, swinging her crimson weapon with incredible speed and rage. She shouts that Leo's plan is pointless unless he can survive her next strike. Leo summons a powerful golden blade to counter the demon girl's assault. He prepares to use a high-level technique to turn the tide of battle. Leo focuses his energy, ready to strike with intense, focused power. The two warriors clash in a violent explosion of fire and steel. Leo unleashes his secret technique, a move known as the refinement of heavenly fire. The demon girl watches with a cold, confident smile as the fight escalates. Their weapons collide with incredible force, shaking the air around them. Energy sparks fly as they trade rapid, devastating blows in midair. A massive shockwave erupts from the center of their intense exchange. Leo and the demon girl remain locked in a high-speed, dangerous struggle. The demon girl manages to land a sharp, painful strike against Leo. She taunts Leo, mocking his speed compared to the swiftness of her sword. The mysterious target fires powerful beams of light at Leo. Leo realizes the figure he was fighting was just a paper decoy. The demon girl watches as her clever paper trick successfully distracts him. She mocks Leo's reliance on his aura while dodging his projectiles. The demon girl conjures a dark energy shield to deflect the incoming attacks. She taunts Leo, calling his desperate attempts to stop her brave, but useless. A sharp red energy blade slices through the air toward the jets. Leo launches a rocket to counter the demon girl's relentless assault. The demon girl laughs and calls Leo's rocket far too slow. She easily maneuvers around the projectile with incredible speed and grace. The rocket misses its mark, leaving Leo wide open for a counter. The demon girl closes in on Leo, ready to end the fight. A massive explosion rocks the battlefield as Leo attempts to counter the demon girl's assault. Missiles rain down on the area, creating chaos as the battle reaches a new level. The smoke clears, revealing the intense destruction caused by the relentless aerial bombardment. Leo watches the smoke rise, knowing the true threat, blank. True fighter jets roar through the sky as a massive explosion rocks the city. A terrifying, monstrous hand suddenly smashes into the urban landscape. The giant limb reaches upward, casting a dark shadow over the buildings. The creature grabs a jet, warning everyone nearby to flee immediately. With a violent motion, the monstrous arm tears through the air. The jet struggles to escape the creature's overwhelming, crushing grip. The beast's limb strikes with explosive force, destroying everything in its path. A nightmarish, purple-skinned beast emerges, revealing its terrifying, toothy maw. The monster lets out a deafening, chaotic roar that shakes the city. The demon girl watches coldly, declaring that no one can interfere now. She coldly states that Leo's death is the only way to end this. The beast's servant urges her to seize this chance to defeat the emperor. The demon girl watches the chaos, wondering what secret plans the emperor has made. Her eyes widen as she suddenly catches a glimpse of a painful memory. A flash of her own childhood appears, showing her crying out in deep distress. She sees herself as a small, frightened child, calling out for her father. The young girl wipes away tears, sobbing while surrounded by broken, heavy rubble. A massive, dark hand reaches down from above, looming over the terrified little girl. She shrinks back in fear, unable to escape the giant reaching for her. The traumatic memory plays out as she screams for her father in the dark. The demon girl closes her eyes, struggling to push away these haunting past visions. She wakes up from the memory, still shouting for her father in her mind. She is left shivering and alone in the dark, clutching her arms in pain. Back in the present, she angrily yells out, demanding to know where he is. The city streets are filled with cars trapped in the rain. A desperate person calls out into the storm, searching for help. Inside a car, a woman tells her companion that the phone signal is gone. The car's navigation screen glitches as the storm worsens. The woman looks out the window in horror at what is approaching. A massive, supernatural water tornado tears through the sky above the bridge. The bridge begins to shake violently as the strange phenomenon intensifies. Two people watch in fear, filming the disaster with their phones. Bright, magical energy clashes against the swirling dark clouds. A powerful surge of red and blue energy erupts into the atmosphere. A mysterious man appears, conjuring waves of water with his hands. He prepares to unleash his full power to combat the chaos. A powerful hand glows with intense blue energy, preparing to unleash a massive attack. The mysterious man shouts, "Take it," as he directs his power toward the storm. A blinding explosion of light erupts, clashing directly with the swirling water tornado. The sky darkens as the immense pressure from the clash rattles the bridge. Violent winds tear through the area, tossing cars around like they are light toys. The chaos intensifies, leaving everyone on the bridge in complete and total shock. A young girl watches the scene unfold, her hands trembling in pure terror. She whispers to herself, wondering if what she is seeing is even possible. Her eyes widen as she stares at the unbelievable display of supernatural strength. Suddenly, a glowing, golden sword appears, hovering in the air before the hero. The man moves with grace, his robes flowing as he approaches the shimmering blade. He reaches out his hand, ready to grasp the legendary weapon and end this. Leo grips the glowing sword, his power pulsing through the air. The intense energy creates a massive, dark crater upon the bridge. Leo stands tall, holding the radiant blade as the storm rages. He declares that he has been waiting a very long time. A mysterious woman appears, mocking Leo for his foolish behavior. She holds a small, crying boy, claiming she has not waited for him. The frightened boy reaches out his arms toward a man nearby. The man quickly pulls the child into a protective, tight hug. He urges the man to take his son and flee the danger. The woman decides it is time to end this fight once and for all. She draws her own dark, lethal blade to challenge Leo's power. Surrounded by shadow, she prepares to strike, recalling their past life together. The mysterious woman lands on the ground, preparing for a brutal magical attack. Leo stands firm, matching her intensity with his own powerful golden lightning energy. He charges his sword, ready to clash against the dark power before him. The woman summons a terrifying demonic entity to descend upon the battlefield. She commands the dark spirit to strike from the skies and destroy everything. Golden energy swirls around Leo as he prepares a desperate, final counterattack. He channels all his remaining strength into the tip of his glowing blade. The woman swings her weapon, releasing a massive wave of dark, crushing energy. The air shatters as their two opposing powers collide in a violent explosion. Leo unleashes his ultimate technique, the Demon Breaker Thousand Autumns, at his foe. A blinding beam of light cuts through the darkness of the bridge. Their attacks meet in the center, causing a massive shockwave across the area. The mysterious woman declares that she has finally waited long enough for this moment. She prepares to unleash her full power, her eyes glowing with a dark, demonic intensity. Her mysterious aura flares up, signaling the start of a dangerous and ancient ritual. Cryptic words fill the air as the sky begins to change under her influence. Leo stands his ground, summoning a brilliant sword of pure golden light to defend himself. The woman looks on with concern, wondering if Leo can truly handle such a powerful ritual. She launches herself at Leo, her dark blade ready to strike him down for good. Leo counters by manifesting a massive, golden dragon made of pure energy to protect him. The woman realizes her demonic blade might not be strong enough to break through his defense. She struggles to maintain her attack as the golden dragon's power overwhelms her dark energy. Leo confidently asserts that his technique is far too strong for her to withstand. A massive beam of golden light erupts, tearing through the city as their powers collide. A dark, jagged crack tears through the sky, signaling a break in reality. The tear expands, revealing a swirling cosmic void above the city skyline. A massive, glowing portal of energy forms, consuming the space around it. The mysterious woman lies defeated and badly wounded among the heavy rubble. A man approaches the fallen fighter, declaring that the battle is finally over. The exhausted woman struggles to speak while the man keeps his distance. A strange, dark blade made of magical energy floats ominously in the air. The woman looks on, shocked by the sheer number of magical swords present. A close-up shows the sharp, dangerous edge of one of the summoned blades. Weak and gasping for breath, the woman tries to recover from her injuries. Smoke rises from her body as she struggles to stay conscious after the hit. The man admits that both fighters have completely exhausted their power reserves. A dark, magical blade hums with energy as the battle reaches its climax. The exhausted demon queen looks on, struggling to stay conscious after the fight. She is pinned against the rubble, her body badly damaged by the attack. A mocking voice laughs, suggesting that both fighters are now completely powerless. A mysterious blonde warrior enters the scene, wielding a weapon of pure fire. The attacker turns their attention toward the wounded demon empress with a threat. The empress remains trapped in the ruins, unable to defend against the incoming strike. The dark sword flies through the air, laughing as it moves to finish her. A powerful dark energy strikes the ground, creating a massive explosion. The dust settles as the area is filled with swirling, dark purple mist. A mysterious man with long hair catches the injured demon queen. He holds her protectively in his arms as they stand amidst the ruin. The weak and bleeding queen whispers for him to put her down. She struggles to stay conscious while being held by her mysterious savior. She tells him that his presence hurts as much as a blade. The man looks at her with a calm and determined expression. He tells the queen to stop acting and listen to him instead. He says he needs her help, but she must agree to one condition. The monstrous attacker laughs, mocking them for whispering to each other. The beast prepares to attack again, glowing with a bright blue light. The giant monster prepares to launch a new, powerful attack. The monster demands to hear the secrets being discussed nearby. Leo stands calm and focused, ready to face the creature. Bright beams of energy rain down from the sky toward them. The energy beams strike the monster, causing it great pain. Leo remains standing firmly as the situation intensifies around him. The monster is shocked that such an attack is actually working. The beams of light continue to pierce through the monster's body. Leo explains to the injured demon queen how to defeat the light. He holds her closely as they prepare to fight back together. The monster struggles as the glowing swords pin it down completely. Leo taunts the monster, questioning its ability to fight back properly. Leo keeps his cool despite the intense pressure from the terrifying monster. The monster is furious and tries to break free from the magical hold. The beast mocks Leo, claiming he has lost his strength and power. Golden energy blades surround the area, ready to strike the creature down. The monster lunges forward, hoping to land a heavy blow on Leo. Leo remains calm while protecting the injured demon queen in his arms. The fight becomes a blur of movement as the monster attacks with rage. The beast taunts Leo, questioning how he plans to win without his energy. Leo ignores the insults, focusing entirely on keeping his companions safe. He makes a precise move, using his remaining power to defend them. A sharp strike of light hits the monster, piercing its dark defenses. The creature reels back as Leo's clever counterattack lands perfectly on target. The mysterious creature looms over the battlefield with a glowing core. Leo carries the injured demon queen as they discuss the sword fragments. He realizes that a piece of the sword is still inside him. The creature reacts as energy starts to swirl around its body. It screams in panic as its powerful yang energy begins to return. The Demon Queen commands Leo to act quickly while the enemy is vulnerable. She channels her remaining strength to help Leo reclaim his stolen power. Energy flows wildly between them as the creature desperately tries to hold on. Leo stands firm as the intense energy gathers around him and the Queen. A broken sword piece vibrates, signaling the shift in their hidden strength. The Queen explains that the yang power remains sealed within Leo's body. She floats above the ground, fully focused on the transition of power. Leo stands firm, declaring that it is finally time to settle all scores. A massive, dark energy surge suddenly tears through the area between them. A terrifying, monstrous creature emerges from a portal in the sky. The creature laughs manically, convinced that divine forces have sent this beast to him. The monster attacks, and the mysterious man tells Leo to have fun fighting it. Leo looks on, calmly considering what his next move should be. The beast of chaos unleashes a devastating strike, shaking the entire city below. Leo turns his attention to the Demon Queen, standing right beside him. He speaks quietly to her, referencing the difficult situation they currently face. She listens intently as Leo mentions the empty skies above them. The creature reminds Leo that he must keep his end of their bargain. The dark clouds hang heavy over the city as the intense battle continues. The Emperor gathers his energy for a final, desperate technique. He calls upon the power of 1,000 heavenly planes. A glowing, magical cube forms between his glowing hands. He unleashes a massive beam of pure, concentrated light. The blast tears open a portal into the dark void. Buildings crumble as the world shakes from the intense pressure. The Demon Queen watches in fear as the portal begins closing. The Emperor struggles to maintain his focus while exhausted. He coughs up blood, realizing his body has reached its limit. The toll on his life force is becoming too much to bear. With his energy completely drained, he begins to lose consciousness. Suddenly, a hand reaches out to catch him from falling. The mysterious ally shouts for the exhausted Emperor to hold on tight. She reaches out to grab him as they drift through the void. Strong winds whip around them while the portal stays open. Leo explains that killing does not make the demons stronger as expected. The demon girl coughs up blood, showing signs of her internal struggle. Leo decides to save her and leaves her to face the aftermath. He warns her that the rift is closing and she must hurry. The demon girl reaches out, desperate to escape before it is too late. Energy swirls violently as the portal begins to collapse around them. The two figures fly together, struggling to maintain their grip. The demon girl screams in frustration, urging him to move faster. She cries out, her sharp teeth bared as the pressure intensifies. A mysterious figure questions Leo about why he risked everything to save people destined to return. The demon girl watches the exchange with wide, curious eyes. Leo remains silent as he contemplates the heavy words spoken to him. A sudden, sharp energy slash cuts through the air. The demon girl reacts quickly, dodging the dangerous incoming strike. She looks up, startled by the unexpected attack. She wonders who is responsible for this sudden hostility. Leo holds a small, glowing spirit flame in his hand. The demon girl sits alone on a rooftop, watching the sunset over the city. She looks back with a soft expression, accompanied by the tiny spirit. The demon girl looks up, her eyes showing a mix of exhaustion and calm. A massive, glowing ball of energy suddenly appears in the sky. She reaches up, channeling her power to control the brilliant light. Beams of energy surge outward, lighting up the entire city skyline. Her expression remains intense as she focuses on the magical display. She stares ahead, watching the results of her powerful spell unfold. Suddenly, she breaks into a painful fit of coughing. She hunches over, feeling the heavy toll of using such immense power. She speaks of the heavy cost required to fix the many people. Blood drips from her hand as she struggles to maintain her composure. She releases a small, glowing spirit, declaring that her promise is fulfilled. The tiny spirit flies away into the sunset, leaving her behind. The demon girl stands tall, reaching toward the sky with her hand. She looks exhausted, with blood trailing from her mouth after the display. Her red eyes widen as she feels the intense strain of her power. She remains still, staring out at the horizon under the evening light. A close look shows her back, revealing the heavy toll of her actions. Nearby, a blonde warrior watches her closely with a serious expression. The warrior seems to be contemplating the scene unfolding before her eyes. The demon girl places a hand on her chest, catching her breath. The warrior holds a glowing weapon, prepared for whatever happens next. Exhausted, the demon girl rests in bed with a small doll nearby. She finally falls into a deep sleep, completely drained of her energy. An observer notes her red eyes and questions if she is truly a demon. A large demon guard accuses a red-haired captive of being a spy. The young demon girl watches the scene with fear in her eyes. The guard orders the girl to hurry up and finish the prisoner. The girl stands before the bound man, holding a sharp blade. She hesitates, clearly struggling with the order to kill him. The guard forcefully grabs the girl by her shoulder. He forces her hand to push the blade into the prisoner. The captive is stabbed as the girl reluctantly helps the guard. The guard warns her that kindness is a weakness that gets people killed. The bloody weapon falls to the ground while the girl trembles. She suddenly clenches her hand, feeling a strange surge of power. Her eyes widen as she realizes something has just changed. The mysterious figure questions if the girl is the emperor. The girl reaches out, clearly confused by the strange encounter. Her eyes widen in shock as she processes the intense situation. The figure speaks about the child who was saved earlier. A serious look crosses the figure's face while they reflect. A small, knowing smile forms on the figure's face now. The young demon girl reacts with sudden, overwhelming emotional intensity. She suddenly wakes up in her bed, gasping for air. She grips her bed sheets tightly, trying to calm her racing heart. The story shifts to a view of a massive city skyscraper. A group of powerful leaders gathers around a large conference table. One leader explains how a single sword strike destroyed a city. The leaders debate whether they should simply wait for their inevitable destruction. A woman named Diana challenges the group, asking if they are just waiting to die. Diana looks serious as she confronts the other powerful figures in the room. She introduces herself as Diana, daughter of a powerful master from a sect. An older woman named Sarah asks if it is true that one strike split the sky. Sarah questions if anyone knows the mysterious sword technique that caused such destruction. The blindfolded warrior, known as Grace, seems embarrassed by the current situation. A woman named Linda wonders if anyone could truly strike a hole in the sky. A man named Kevin confirms the terrifying rumors surrounding the warrior's immense power. A woman named Rachel listens closely as the leaders analyze the catastrophic event. Rachel bluntly asks Sarah if she gathered them all just to complain about it. The meeting continues with a mysterious nun from the White Cloud Temple present. The group gathers around a high-tech table to discuss their urgent survival plans. The nun questions how the recent destruction relates to their current military strategy. The leaders debate if they have any real hope of surviving the threat. One woman wonders aloud why she is still perfectly fine despite the danger. The nun listens carefully as the tension in the room continues to rise. A blonde woman looks visibly shaken by the weight of the conversation. She turns her attention toward Yutong, bringing up a very personal matter. The other members laugh, teasing Yutong about her past romantic connections and training. They discuss the possibility of Yutong finding a partner to help her power. A young girl insists that finding a pure partner is the only way forward. The group suggests Yutong should find a husband to finally reach her full potential. Leo thinks hard about finding the perfect partner for Yutong. He keeps his hands together while focused on the important plan. The leaders are worried about the future and the coming danger. Yutong stands outside and listens to the serious news. The group has officially decided to find a partner for Yutong. A young man bows on the ground before Yutong in respect. He mentions the specific list created by Mrs. Hongling. The man remains low on the floor, waiting for her response. Yutong discusses the selection process with her associates. She explains that they must watch over the phoenix closely. Yutong looks down at the man who is still bowing. She considers her next move carefully while looking ahead. Yutong feels weak because her aura has not recovered since the Great War. She worries that her physical body is damaged and her foundation is unstable. While checking the plants, she realizes she must be very careful right now. Yutong spots something unusual while looking closely at the potted plants. She decides it is best to stay low and keep a low profile. She asks the shop owner to pack up the plant she has chosen. Blank. True, she is surprised to find a mysterious QR code hidden near the pot. Back at the house, a young fox spirit is running around with high energy. Meanwhile, Mark sits quietly in his room to focus on his internal energy. Mark is surrounded by a glowing aura as he meditates deeply on his bed. Suddenly, he gasps in shock as he experiences a major breakthrough in power. Students in the classroom are gossiping and teasing each other about their romantic feelings. The girls are excited and laughing while talking about their shared interests. One girl gets very flustered as her friend whispers something shocking in her ear. The girls openly dream about sharing a bed with a handsome and perfect man. A boy nearby watches them and feels annoyed by their shallow conversation. He tells his friend that the girls are being far too superficial today. His friend complains about losing a beauty contest despite working on his photos. He checks his phone, frustrated that someone else has taken the top spot. He realizes that Leo has officially beaten him in the rankings. The phone screen shows the current leaderboard with Leo ranked at number 1. He gets angry and shouts, venting his frustration about the competition results. He demands that everyone look at the screen to see the amazing Shen Letian. A mysterious young man stands quietly, his presence drawing attention from those around him. Students are instantly mesmerized, their eyes turning into hearts as they stare at him. The young man offers a gentle, charming smile that leaves the crowd completely stunned. Sarah watches him closely, wondering why someone so popular would suddenly approach her today. She stands firm, crossing her arms and waiting for him to explain his intentions. The man continues to smile, seemingly enjoying the effect he has on everyone nearby. Sarah feels a strange, unsettling vibe from his voice that puts her on edge. He steps closer to Sarah, boldly offering her something while trying to get her attention. Sarah keeps her distance, looking down at him with a cold and unimpressed expression. The man looks visibly shaken, muttering that the situation feels absolutely disgusting to him. He struggles with his thoughts, refusing to believe that his charm is failing him. Outside the cafeteria, a confused student stands nearby, watching the strange interaction unfold silently. Sarah is furious and vents her frustration about the new student to her friend. She calls him an evil cultivator who uses his voice to trick girls. She worries that teaming up with him might lead to dangerous consequences. Her friend listens calmly, while Sarah continues to rant about the situation. Blank. True, Sarah catches a glimpse of the new student walking by nearby. She watches him walk away while trying to keep her composure. Her friend teases her, suggesting she should go after him right now. Sarah gets defensive and loudly asks her friend what she is talking about. Blank. True. Blank. True, Sarah blushes deeply and claims that she and the student are just friends. Sarah and her friend spot Yutong running down the hallway in a hurry. Sarah is deeply flustered, her face turning bright red as she reacts to the situation. She covers her blushing face, clearly overwhelmed by the sudden and intense emotions she feels. The mysterious new student stands firm, looking serious as he tells her, "I refuse." He remains calm and composed, staring directly at her in his sharp, formal suit. Sarah is so shocked by his blunt rejection that she physically recoils in surprise. She stumbles back, her mind reeling from his unexpected and cold response to her. The rejection hits her hard, leaving her completely stunned and unable to speak properly. The new student speaks again, his tone cold as he explains his current perspective. He declares that after being kidnapped, he can no longer bring himself to trust girls. Sarah listens silently, her expression softening into a look of deep, quiet understanding. The sun sets over the city skyline, casting a heavy and thoughtful mood over everything. Sarah unleashes her frustration by punching the heavy training bag with all her might. She keeps fighting the bag, desperate to find a way to protect him. She believes that if she had just done things differently, he would be okay. Sarah refuses to accept that his distrust of women is a permanent wall. She struggles with the painful thought that he doesn't trust her at all. She continues to curse her circumstances while sweating through her intense workout. Tears mix with sweat as she feels completely overwhelmed by her emotions. She realizes that her current efforts are not bringing her any true happiness. Her muscles ache, but the pain in her heart is much worse. She lets out one final, desperate shout of anger at the empty air. Sarah continues to punch the heavy bag with intense focus and frustration. A gym staff member discusses the situation with a man at the front desk. The staff member explains that Sarah has been training here for a long time. Sarah stands alone in the gym, still relentlessly striking the bag for hours. The gym trainer watches Sarah closely with a smirk on her face. The trainer remarks that wealthy girls like Sarah rarely visit this gym. The staff member complains about Sarah, suggesting she should just leave. The staff member continues to vent about Sarah's presence and her money. The trainer approaches Sarah and critiques her lack of proper fighting resistance. The trainer introduces herself as the gym's professional instructor, Hannah. Hannah looks at Sarah with a challenging and slightly annoyed expression. Hannah points a finger at Sarah, ready to confront her about her training. A person is suddenly thrown through the gym window and crashes outside. An onlooker watches in shock as the body lands on the ground. Sarah jumps out of the broken window, looking for a fight. Onlookers are stunned to see Sarah aggressively pursuing her target. Sarah stands over her opponent, who is now cowering on the grass. The terrified man begs Sarah to spare his life. Sarah towers over him, looking completely unimpressed by his plea. She grabs him, questioning why he is wearing such a strange outfit. She continues to hold him firmly by his shirt. The man looks up at her, trembling and confused by her aggression. Sarah looms over him, ready to continue their intense confrontation. Sarah reminds him that he asked to be beaten up, and she is not finished yet. Sarah slams the attacker into the ground with overwhelming force. A police officer arrives to investigate the commotion. The officer realizes the defeated person is a dangerous criminal with a huge bounty. The criminal lies unconscious on the grass after Sarah's brutal beatdown. The authorities praise Sarah for taking down such a notorious villain. Sarah receives a large cash reward for her help in capturing the target. Reporters crowd around Sarah, asking how she managed to win the fight. Sarah walks away from the cameras, looking calm and collected. Sarah sits down with her friends to discuss the recent events. She jokes that she only acts when there is money or cute guys involved. Sarah continues talking about her plans for future rewards. Her friends laugh as they mention her luck in finding big payouts. The girls playfully blow air at each other, teasingly messing around during their break. Suddenly, someone chokes on their drink, causing a funny and messy reaction. Sarah looks serious and collected as she brushes off the recent chaotic events. Sarah shows off her glowing energy powers, looking ready for a new challenge. The scene shifts to a mysterious girl resting in bed with a small doll. Sarah sits down with her friend to have a private and intense conversation. Sarah jokes that she will only share secrets if she gets paid for them. Her friend is shocked by Sarah's greed and playfully scolds her for it. Sarah offers a huge cash reward for any juicy details about their target, Leo. She points a finger, clearly excited to hear the gossip she is hunting for. Her friend looks eager, ready to spill all the secrets for that big prize. A strange, glowing portal appears, signaling that something magical is about to happen. Sarah reveals the long list of information she has gathered about Leo. She carefully reviews the long document, looking for any important clues. Sarah admits there is one specific detail she still cannot confirm. She looks concerned as she processes the missing piece of the puzzle. Sarah focuses her eyes, determined to find the truth about Leo. She looks stressed while trying to connect the dots in her investigation. Sarah is shocked to hear that a girl might be involved. She urgently asks for more details about this mysterious new person. Her friend explains that the girl is currently here to buy food. Sarah tries to recall if she has seen this girl at school before. She wonders if anyone else has heard of a girl playing chess here. Sarah spots a mysterious woman ordering food at the counter. Sarah looks shocked as she realizes the gravity of the situation unfolding before her. A mysterious girl named Alice stares intensely, clearly bothered by the ongoing conflict. Sarah feels the pressure rising as she tries to make sense of the confrontation. Alice snaps back, frustrated that their lives are being risked for a silly game. Alice shouts at Sarah, demanding to know how she can ignore a friend's life. A voice warns that Alice is no match for their opponent, suggesting danger ahead. Sarah looks confused, trying to process the intense words being thrown at her. They sit together on the rooftop, caught in a tense moment amidst the rain. Alice sits cross-legged on the roof, waiting for a response to her emotional outburst. Alice challenges Sarah, asking if she is afraid to continue their high-stakes game. Sarah looks back, her expression showing a mix of worry and emotional turmoil. Alice remains focused, her steady presence adding more tension to the stormy night. Leo sits on the rooftop, still wearing his mask and feeling guarded against women. He removes the dark cloth, revealing his face while he looks at Sarah. Sarah looks back at him, her face turning bright red from embarrassment. Leo looks at her with a serious, slightly worried expression on his face. Sarah turns her head away, clearly annoyed and trying to hide her feelings. Leo is frustrated and yells at Sarah, demanding that she just use the board. They argue about the strange game and the complicated history between them. Sarah closes her eyes and smiles, seemingly finding a moment of peace. Sarah looks confused and flustered, asking Leo what the number 36 means. Leo ignores her question and warns her that it is about to rain. They sit together on the roof, preparing to continue their game of strategy. The storm finally breaks, and rain begins to fall on them as they play. Sarah is clearly frustrated and shouts that she is sick of this situation. She yells at Leo while rain soaks through her clothes. Leo decides he has had enough and turns to leave the rooftop. He looks back with a tired expression, clearly done with the argument. Sarah continues to vent her anger, feeling ignored by his sudden departure. She stands firmly in the rain, refusing to give up on their confrontation. Sarah insists that she must defeat him today, regardless of the weather. She screams at Leo, her face flushed with a mix of rage and emotion. Leo listens as she gestures wildly, trying to explain her intense feelings. Leo remains firm in his decision to call it a day and walk away. Sarah watches him leave, feeling defeated as the heavy rain continues to fall. Sarah stands alone on the rooftop, soaked by the heavy rain and looking dejected. She whispers to herself, determined to play one more game despite the circumstances. She insists that it is her turn, refusing to let the match end so easily. Sarah remains on the rooftop in the downpour, staring at the game board below. She looks down with a sad, wistful expression as the rain continues to fall. A small, faint smile appears on her face as she remembers a special moment. She clutches a small, smooth stone tightly in her hand while standing in the storm. She holds the stone out, focusing her attention on the object in her grip. The stone glows slightly as she prepares to make her next move in the game. She recalls a memory of something she truly liked, finding comfort in the thought. Inside a nearby house, someone lets out a loud, sudden sneeze in the dark. A young girl with silver hair looks surprised, wondering who just sneezed nearby. Leo discusses energy flows while a small fox-like creature listens nearby. Leo turns to leave the room after finishing his preparations. Suddenly, a woman rushes in and surprises Leo with her quick arrival. The woman, who seems to be an older relative, shouts at Leo in frustration. Leo barely reacts to her outburst and keeps his composure. He calmly tells her he is bored and decides to go take a shower. The woman looks determined and insists that she must handle this situation. Leo moves into the living room where a blonde woman is waiting for him. The blonde woman insists she only wants to talk briefly before leaving. The older woman continues to nag them about their plans and timing. Tensions rise as they argue about whether they are actually going to talk. Leo turns his back on the blonde woman, leaving the conversation hanging. The blonde woman feels worried that talking to Leo might cause a misunderstanding. She decides to get up and leave the living room area. She walks through the house, determined to find him before she departs. Her footsteps echo softly as she moves down the hallway. She pauses, looking around for a sign of where Leo might be. She continues walking toward the private rooms of the house. She reaches a doorway and stops in front of it. She accidentally stumbles upon Leo, who is just finishing his shower. He is surprised to see her standing right there in his personal space. Leo looks at her with a calm but questioning expression. Suddenly, the scene shifts to a powerful warrior holding a glowing weapon. If you want part 2 of this video, drop a comment, and at 1,000 likes I'll release part 2. Tell us in the comments how much you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe for part 2.